Hey!
Hi. Hello.
And welcome to
the Partner
Panel.
I'll get a beer in a moment.
Let's go.
Yes, welcome everybody. Welcome. We have quite a bit of people here today, actually. So shout out to
for a partner panel so far.
Is it?
It is.
I don't know about that, bro.
6. We've had 6. That's it. I remember you made the little frame for it for 6 of us to fit.
Yes, bro. I'm so glad I've evolved from that, bro, because that shit was a fucking pain in the ass. Swear to God. But no. So welcome again, everybody. Whether you're watching online or whether you're watching it live, essentially, we are here to talk about Fault, what's recently been released, and a couple of other things. And believe me, because of the individuals that we have here in the chat, I am expecting shit to get spicy. Hashtag JPie. So,
why me?
We know you.
Because I love you, JPie. I know for a fact that being a friend with you is like being a friend with a jalapeno. I love it. It's spicy. I might not like what comes at the end of the night, but I still enjoy it every day, right?
Yeah.
Did you just call
exactly
pain in the ass?
Whoa, never, bro. Never.
Did you say a rectifier or a rectum fire?
Oh, okay. All right. Hey. I'm gonna need you to relax on that one. This is we're literally 3 minutes in deep, bro. I'm gonna need you to relax. So,
fire.
Yo, Windu, let's do it like this. Let's have the introductions. If I may introduce myself last, because I have a great topic to start it all off.
Okay, so let's do this. All right, I'm gonna go down the list of names that I just see on my side, right? That stream is viewing as well. And I'll have you guys introduce yourselves that way. Of course, if you guys don't know me, I'm Windu. Welcome. We have the Bearded Wolverine, Lucy the Angel, 397, Stunt V. He's losing his numbers, but he's Stunt V today. I'm Stranger, Mangoose, and JPie. If you guys would like, go ahead and just say like a little bit about yourselves, maybe like 10, 30 seconds, and we can move on to the next one. Go ahead, Bearded.
You guys already know me. Let's move on. Keep going.
But what if they don't? What if somebody brand new is here and be like, who the fuck is that guy with a beard? I don't know.
The best beard on Twitch. All right. Find me a competitor. Can't find it. Keep going. Let's go.
All right, Lucy.
I'm actually pretty new to Fault. I didn't know it was here for the last year, so I actually started about a month or two ago. So liking what I'm seeing so far, although a few changes would be necessary.
Cool. I mean, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, it's still alpha.
And be mindful, and I just want to touch a little bit on that before we go forward in here to Stunt. The reason for these videos, podcast style, right, is because everybody's opinion does matter. It doesn't matter if you are a brand new player and you have input. It doesn't matter if you're an experienced player and you have input. It doesn't matter if you're a calm person, a rage person, whomever you may be. At the end of the day, everybody's input is valued. And it's just all about articulating it and making sure that we have an accurate conversation about it, a good debate moving forward. Go ahead, son. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Stunt, and my screen name speaks for itself. I really am a stuntman in Hollywood, so hence the name.
No way.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. You should see his pictures. This motherfucker pulls out pictures like, hey, look, this is Letty from Fast and the Furious. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
I've seen it.
Yes, bro. Like he's actually just straight pro stuntman training people and shit. Super cool. Now, moving forward, we have Stranger.
Hey, what a flippity flop, though. This is Stranger, our big moose. It's been over a year since I've done that, and that was only a little one. It's nice to let loose. Thanks for having me, folks. I'm here to start a fire. And that's it.
Nice.
I like it, bro.
Burning a ring of fire?
Yes.
He's going to upgrade the jalapeno into a ghost pepper.
Hey, man. I'm just saying, we got Bearded the Fire Hydrant here, so we'll see how that goes, right? Mangoose?
West Virginia, Mountain Mama. That's all I got. Move on.
Oh, my God. I can't, bro. For those of you that don't know, Mangoose at this point has been tuning in so much that actually borderline him and Son are almost part of the videos at this point, TBH, right? Like I don't even know if we have an official confirmation out of Mangoose, but I think he's a permanent person on these videos. Maybe Stunt too.
I don't know if I'm a partner or yet.
You don't have to be a partner to be a part of these videos.
That's true.
Hey
man,
I don't know which application.
I'll call my wife.
Okay,
five of them.
Yeah, let me clear this up. I mean sexually.
All right. Hashtag message Ryan Red. I got you. And then we have the very famous and infamous, depending how you might see it, the great homie J-Pie.
Hi, I'm J-Pie. I'm just a guy who likes games. I'm non-confrontational, and I am not a nightmare consumer. I'm pretty mellow. I think I have reasonable points of view. And I made a mistake earlier. Windu, I know you wanted to go into the, recent updates in social media of SMS. I'm totally down to do that. And then once we kind of go to the section of the stream where it's kind of like a free-for-all, we just, bring up different topics, whatever. I would love to start us off, but that's
for sure.
For
I mean, I'll be real with you. I 100% noticed that you were like, yo, I got a spicy first subject. I was 100% about to be like, interception. I'm running the bit.
Yeah.
Stranger, you got something to say? I saw you raise your hand.
No.
Very polite of you, by the way. All right. So, if anything, let's just kind of go over real quick. We're just going to go over what Strange Matters has announced here in the last week or so, right? And then after that, we got a couple of delicate subjects, so to speak, that quite frankly should be talked about. So we are going to dive into those as professionally as possible, but you are going to hear strong opinions. Fair warning, going down the road. Yes, I am wearing contacts. I see that question in the chat. But the first thing that I want to go ahead and talk about with you guys is this Gideon skin that Strange Matters announced. Hit me up with it, guys.
You said that wrong. It's
what did I say?
You said Gideon. It's a get me in skin.
Get me the fuck out.
This skin is super fantastic. Is exactly what it is.
Bro,
Awesome.
I don't disagree. Like this is the most Iron Man shit that I've ever seen, Paragon related and Fault related. And I'll be real, even though deep inside, and I will touch on this subject now, and I know we're going to go into it later, just because of the wide audience that we have here. I'll be real, even though I know there's bigger things in Fault that need addressing, I love the fact that their media department, their art department has been moving forward. I love that this skin has been in creation. I love the fact that this looks like our own version of Tony Stark. That's some dope as fuck shit. You feel me?
Right?
I probably wouldn't have chose blue. My boy needs to be purple, but that might be a personal preference, right? Because I'm me.
Yeah, definitely.
This looks like Tony Stark went intimate with the Halo character and popped out this one. Right here.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Here's what I wanted to talk about this skin though. Before I look like a fool on stream.
No such thing.
Too late.
This chest piece right here. Thank you, Bearded. This chest piece right here. Wasn't this the chest piece that was introduced to us months and months back? Wasn't this the little piece of chess piece that was introduced to us months back, where we couldn't figure out?
In the teaser that everyone thought was Wraith? Yes. This is the skin. But adding on to that, there's something apparently on the screen for Decker that Decker's looking at on the computer that still hints at Wraith.
No,
Wraith
not that.
Still
not the Wraith part. The disappointing part about SMS, and this is what scares me a little bit about what's going on, is you teased the chess piece for this, I would say about 10 months ago, right? Or something like that. You got everybody's hopes up or let's say even 5 months ago or 6 months ago. And you got everybody's hopes up that it might be a new, either a new card or an item. It could be a new hero. And then 6 months later, you just give us a skin. And a skin that I bet most of the individuals even in this stream right now or in this panel don't play. I mean, I like the skin. I'm not saying anything about it. It's an amazing skin. But the point I'm making is you got everybody's hopes up with possibly a new character. You teased us all of that. You went quiet and you just came up with a skin.
I think
Here's what I'm giving you.
Well,
See, we need
there's
an
not just
exact
one
date.
thing in it, though.
An exact date.
Yes, I
Because-
agree with that.
Yeah, of the blog post that it was teased, just so we have like an accurate point of reference, because
All right,
like
I'll
the
look it
difference
up.
between a year and 6 months, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Can I be honest?
For us,
Those teasers,
just a skin.
bro, in my eyes, those teasers look nothing like what I'm looking at now. And that's just me.
That's what I'm saying. No,
Like-
that's what I'm saying. If this is that chess piece, then if this was teased and this is that chess piece, then
Yeah, I mean, but they released it like right behind teasing a hero. Like it was in this same week. You know what I mean? So they chose a good time to do it.
no, not releasing the not releasing the whole
It didn't
skin.
release the hero.
The teasing this thing, you know what I mean? Hyping everybody up. Because last partner panel, we talked about it. Even Windu mentioned it. He said, what happened to that one armor or whatever we were looking at months ago? Why did they go quiet on that? You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And on all that time, you just give us a skin. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it's actually, I think there's a little
Yeah.
bit more into it, because if you look at it, there's like an Iggy turret, a sticky note with Phase's backpack on it, and there's still a hint on towards Wraith on Decker's screen. So I do feel like there's quite a few character hints, like it cannot be anything else. So I do still think that there was mainly just like the next few heroes teased, and they just threw the teaser for the skin in.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
that's not what we're talking about. That little picture
Well,
is not what we're talking
that's
about.
not-
well, hold on, no, but it's actually worth mentioning that picture too within the subject, right? Because we've brought up several times in the past that Strange Matters is pretty damn good at teasing stuff, but as far as organization and delivering the final product, like we're mentioning about the skin, we got what was it, 3 to 4 pieces of the skin teased over the span of maybe 2 months just to have the actual skin dropped half a year later. That's just an organization thing to come down to it, right? And then on the point that Lucy was mentioning, we could also bring up the fact that, you know, we've seen Phase teasers, right? We've seen Iggy maybe teasers. We saw like a little turret in the background. Could be that, could be not. Who knows, right? It's speculation at this point. But it really is one of those things that I'm okay with them teasing. I'm not okay with just blindly teasing without providing direction. That's like trying to teach a kid to learn on his own, throwing hints at him, but never showing him how to connect the dots. Does that make sense? You guys get that?
Yeah.
I just want to see it. I just want to see the fruit of their loins or the results of these teasers. You know what I mean?
April 1st. April 1st was the first of what I believe is what we're looking at. And I could be wrong. It might be something different, but that was the first of what Stunt is referring to.
Yeah, what I thought it is. Yes, that's why.
What we believe is what we're talking about. What Stunt is referring to is April 1st. It was a weekly update 4/1/2021. It has Narbash Silver skin for the Mastery skin was also in it. Was the first thing we've seen.
April 1st, 2021.
When do I?
It literally has been 6 months.
Did you find it? Did you have it yet, or let me send it to you and then you can pull it up if you want?
Go ahead and send it to fake Windu, if you don't mind.
Fake window? Yep, I got you. I haven't talked to that one in a while. There it is.
Now,
I'm
let me
gonna say right now, the quality
Go for
of
it.
this skin is 3,000% better
Spicy.
than the Lumberjack Boris skin.
yes.
What?
Like we
I
haven't.
love the lumberjack.
Okay,
Yo,
but that skin-
get me out. That's a reskin with a hat, bro. Like, get me out.
And the hat doesn't even look right on it.
That
Skin
that's true.
looks badass.
I'm sorry.
We have a
Are you
game, but the skin looks really cool. I couldn't give a shit about Gideon. Like I would rather the skin be for Richter, of course, but
Wait a minute, bro. Are you saying there's a hat that doesn't look right on a character? Hashtag Halloween Bellica?
yeah.
But
Gosh, man, that's been since Alpha.
I'll be real with you. I really think that's one of those things that just kind of slid under the rug and kept going. Right? I really think it's one of those things that just kind of slid under the rug. But here's my thing on it. I I don't disagree with you, Mangoose. This skin quality is up there. Based off of the drawings that I saw, which in my opinion, the drawings kind of similar, but not really, that leads me to believe that they were able to grab a drawing and a concept, elevate it, and then go from there, which to me gives me hope. Because they might be able to make some dope ass shit down the road. They might have hired the right guys. That's, you feel me? Like, to me, I'm like, okay, I see that. Now, I will say, as far as this skin, y'all gotta give me like a purple variant, Strange Matters. I don't know what's going on. Like, you feel me? I understand this whole white and gold divinity type of vibe that's going on right now.
Maybe they'll give you your own customization. You can customize it the way you want to.
That's a stretch. I hope so, right? But I'll be real with you, even if they give me, because this really looks like a dawn version of the skin, right? You guys getting that vibe? Like very dawnish colors. What if they give us a dusk version? Give me like a black and red one. I don't even like fucking red, but I'll rock that shit. I promise. Like my favorite Gideon skin was Devil Gideon, which we still don't have, by the way, with the little tail sticking out and stuff. I'm just mentioning. But that was my favorite skin back in the day. And this...
Like, get on it, SMS.
No. Only hint. Only hint. But but I'll be real, this skin, if you literally just change everything that's a white texture to a black texture and everything that's a blue texture to a red one, even keep that little, what is that, copper color, bronze color, right? Like, if you just flip a couple things around, that would be a dope as fuck skin, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. That shit would be fire.
Skin. That's
it's
nice.
so nice.
I mean, I'm gonna be flexing it. All I was talking about was the timeline. That's it. Because the skin is amazing, and I play Gideon a lot.
But it took him 6 months. You're right.
So Queen in chat says new map is greater than no more skins.
Just about to say that.
So my
go ahead.
disagreement with that is the fact that the map is something we're gonna be playing on every day. We're not gonna get a map though. Hey, I'm gonna spawn. When are we gonna spawn in on? Oh, it's this map. We're not gonna have all these different maps that we can just like see different things on. So we gotta see it every day. So a lot more time has to be taken into that map and to make sure it's right before we just get a new map. So skins would be a little bit easier to do that, and then you can still have a little pizzazz with it.
So here's where I'm going to be devil's advocate and probably the strongest opposition as to both of you. There is no reason why your map designer should be your skin designer. We should have both. We should have seasonal changes to the map while also getting these dope ass skins. Where's my vacation Sevrog? I don't even play Sevrog. J-Pod might like that shit. I don't even play Sevrog.
Hold up. I was not insinuating that they're the same people. What I'm saying is that person or those people that are working the map have to take more time. Like for me to do for the
like more detail oriented.
It literally is like, hey, I got a one small person that I'm working on. This is a whole fucking map, 3 lanes, jungle, everything. Like that's some work.
Let me ask you something.
We don't want them to bring out a map to where they have to go in and hey, we now if I walk up on this part, hey, we're crashing here. Like we don't want a map that we got to fix again, like we had to fix this one in early access. We want a map that comes out and it's smooth. There's going to be issues with it because that's what happens when you put something new into a game. But we don't want it to be as bad as it was when we first played early access here.
Let's take a second to remember how long it took them to build Legacy in the first place. It took an entire team not having to do like weekly updates or things like that. It took them 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, something like that. It was in the years it took them to build Legacy. And so that just proves that you could probably do a skin in you could do a few character skins every few months, but reworking an entire map is a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's a lot more work. And there are a lot more people working on the map now than they used to, though. So I'm really excited for that. It used to be one guy. Now, don't get me wrong, the guy was a true professional AAA developer. But they got 3 or 4 people working on just the map now. So that should help expedite the process.
Am I the only one? I was going to say, am I the only one that's excited about the studio's growth as a team? And I'm sorry, guys, we're doing this right now. I just got asked about my Galaxy contacts. So I'm just showing that shit real quick. Anyway, am I the only one that's excited about the growth of the company? All these additions and actually seeing the character design actually being implemented by the professional that specializes in that. You know what I mean?
I actually noticed that as well, and I think that's a really good start in helping them fix a lot of not just fix a lot of their problems, but to also make the game more interesting. Because I remember one of the things that everyone would talk about is like the new hero skins coming out, or just, you know, little reworks on the map and things like that. Everyone would get so pumped and excited for it. And I think like having more people on it, they're able to get those out quicker, I guess, or to do it more often, and which makes the game a lot more exciting for a lot of people.
I was only made aware of the level designer. What new personnel are you guys privy to? Because I know that they had this one level designer come on that made environments that looked like they were straight out of The Last of Us, and he looked amazing. You know, that's a huge benefit.
You're talking about Mr. No Mercy.
Is that his name? I'm horrible with names, bro.
Who else? Because I'm not privy to any of it. I checked job listings on the website. Nothing looked like it was updated, and I just don't know.
So that's a great question. Yes, that's unfortunately something that needs to be addressed. Quite frankly, that website should be updated as soon as something goes live. But so that's a great question, J-Pod. They've actually had quite a bit of additions. For example, they have a 3D model designer that they picked up, in somebody that can actually output the quality of Paragon, like assets. For example, the skin that we're seeing here, right? They picked up the UI designer, and that is now something that we see more implementation of once the new UI came out and stuff like that. One thing that me and Beard talked about in the past is they've picked up several individuals. Some of them have just been labeled as, hey, we picked up this programmer. We picked up this person, right? Others have been like, hey, this person, talented person at UI, they've made UI for this and that. We're going to show you some of their art, right? So some of them have been highlighted a little bit more to where they got a little bit of limelight. Others have been more behind the scenes. But I do know for a fact that at least since they started doing these bi-weekly blogs, I guess we could call them, right?
Yep.
They added, what is it? At least 5 people since they started? Could be wrong, maybe.
They've added a lot. And a lot of them are contracts. They're freelance. They're like full-time employees, at least for now, right? And that's what I think is awesome. Like there is more contracted employees that we don't know about and we'll never know about. But like they do exist on top of that. And that's what I think is really cool. And like to have out of Spada, he was literally a mod. He was literally a moderator, and now he's like a level designer. I think he's in charge of fixing up the current map to make it actually, you know, just give it a bit of sprucing up, say. And what do they got? They got Ruben. He would probably be working on the new map. I'm just assuming at this point. I don't know. And they also got Mr. No Mercy, and they got Storm. Well, Storm's a character rigger, I think. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I didn't follow too much as to what they all do, quite frankly. But I know that they've been expanding, and I like it because that to me, business mindset, lets me know 2 things, right? The first one is they are properly expanding, even though it might not be too visually obvious. They're visually expanding monetarily wise in order to support hiring individuals. That's the first thing that I see, right? And 2, they basically, like, you know, excuse my, you know, very direct crude language, but it's showing me that they got the balls to take some steps in the right direction and be like, hey, you know what? We're going to show you that we can make a Paragon quality skin. Check this out. Because
it's nice.
Because I support Strange Matters, love them and all. We all know that the Cyber Quang skin was cool, but it doesn't necessarily look like the nicest skin. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. You can definitely tell the difference.
Chimera Bone Collector skin. I mean, it was cool, but it's not the nicest. It's not very crisp. You know, it's definitely could use some work.
Yeah, just and I'm hoping polish it needs. Yeah.
I'm hoping that with these new additives to the team, that we can go in and kind of refresh those skins and make them look a little bit better.
Since we're talking about skins, I actually want to bring up the topic of their mastery skin previews and what we think of them. Because I remember in Paragon we had like the master skin, which is just like the flowing lava and whatnot. but these seem to have like a lot of different, 4 specific different colorings to them. And in my opinion, I actually quite like a lot of them.
Yeah, I do too.
I'll be real with you. I'm on a toss up. I like the later things that they've shown us out of these mastery skins, right? Different interactions with light, how the white might look like gray sometimes or stuff like that, how the red glows through. I'm still a little bit bothered by that first master skin reveal that we got out of Narbash, because my boy is straight look ashy gray in that video. But every picture afterwards, they look Snow White. Straight up. They look straight Kratos mode, right? That type of ashy gray. So I'm curious as to how they're actually going to look into game. Some of them are some of them are actually better, right? But I'm both worried and excited about the lighting that's going to be implemented into the game and how that's going to affect those skins.
Yeah. I mean, the skins are cool, right? Like, they're awesome. They look 49 times better than they used to. Fault is clearly gearing up for something big. Patch 14. I'm hoping they're not overhyping it. What are we going on to? The 7th month, 8th month for the big update, right? And from the way they're saying, it's bigger than 13. We know 13 was massive. And if you consider everything after, I got Prime Helix, all this stuff. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is if these updates, like, I don't know what entails in this next update, but if it isn't earth shattering and I have to wait till patch 15 to receive that update where the game's ready for free to play, because that's the ultimate goal, we're going to hit that stagnation and we're just going to lose players again, right?
It's ready to free to play.
I'm going to
now.
say something and I'm going to jump right to JPI. Because
Let's talk about this.
JPI.
That's a great point.
About JPI.
It's been ready
If
to go free to play since early access.
If patch 14 misses that bullseye, patch Fault might not have a second chance. There might not be enough room or a chance for a patch 15.
I think their second chance is free to play, and they get to choose when they pull that trigger. So
don't forget,
that's a good one.
I said I'm gonna pass this to JPI. Don't forget, there's 3 other companies who are ready, or 2 other companies who are almost ready to release, or whatever the case is. If 14 doesn't hit the nail on the head, and based off of their patch notes and stuff like that, it seems like they want to really market it because they have something big. But
so
this is going to be a huge thing.
I agree, but here's what I'm going to say before, because I do want to hear JPI's take on this, right? I do agree. They have to be considerable of these other options, right? But I just want to make this point very clear also. Everybody is acting like first is final. That's not necessarily the case. How many people have you gone to first and you regret that shit and you end up with the second one? How many times, whether it be a job that you contracted, something that you paid for, whatever it might have been, where first wasn't always your best option? You did that option, and then I don't know where you're like, you know what? I'm gonna be real with you. I was kind of iffy. Went with option number 2 the second time, bro. I had a way better experience. First is not final. I do want to throw that out there, but it would be very ignorant to not consider the fact that they're the competitors. You feel me?
Let me touch up on that too before I go to JPI, or JPI starts talking about this.
He's holding
part
back.
of me.
Like JPI never talks.
Part of me doesn't want Fault to be the first one to make it to the finish line. Remember we were talking about it, Bearded, in past panels, because you know for a fact that any of these companies that come out first, they're going to come out with problems. It's almost impossible for a game to come out that's going to be pitch perfect. You know what I mean? I almost prefer Fault to be like a second, third game to come out, just so they can get an idea of what the other games did and what mistakes they made before. You know what I mean? So racing to that finish line isn't the best idea, in my opinion, but you also have to be mindful that you have these other options. If you miss patch 14 and these other options start coming out, you're going to have problems.
I'll wait for JPI because it'll tie in with what you're saying. So go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, let's let the man speak. Let's let the man speak.
Ready.
Okay, so I just have a couple things to say to the skin. I'm pretty sure the people who develop the skins, they're a separate department. The skin is beautiful. It's incredible. Most of my issues are not with that department. It's with the other departments of SMS. But let's get more back on topic here, right? Stranger, you mentioned like it's not ready to go free to play. I wholeheartedly disagree. I felt like it should have went free to play on early access release. And if they didn't, the alternative in my eyes, the optimal alternative would simply be that they would not have gone early access as early as they did. And I'm telling you right now, with the current state of the game, even before this next big patch, if they released early access with the state of the game that they have right now, the player base would be in a completely
it'd be in the
state.
Thousands. It'd be in the thousands. Not one word of a lie.
It is 100 times, if not 200 times better than it was upon early access release. And but unfortunately, that first initial impression is what the majority of the player base experienced, and it's what they have in their memory when they think of Fault. And you can see that just by the player numbers. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed the player numbers recently. Like, before the stream, I checked it out, 95.5 concurrent players. That's the lowest it's ever been. And that's, in early access, it's expected to lose players. That is the norm. But, we have to face reality here, because this big patch, it's probably going to be the last big patch before we have not one, but two other substitutes on the market in Overprime and Predecessor. So in my eyes, Fault and SMS, this big patch, you put everything behind it. You give it your best foot forward, and you try to capitalize on your first mover advantage, because you're the only one in the market right now, and you go all out. And I wanted to talk about this later. I didn't expect us to go into it so early, but I mean, there's so many things that they can improve upon. And I do think that with this patch, you try to go free to play, and you try to build up the strongest player base to endure the wave that is Overprime and the wave that is Predecessor. Yeah. Because let's be real here. When New World dropped, the Fault player base took a huge hit, and that's not even a substitute for this kind of game.
For sure.
So it literally cut in half. It literally did, yeah.
So I definitely hear what you're saying. I just want to add that I completely agree with what you're saying, with a bit of caution on the side. They can't be adding too much into it, because if they add like too much and they put too much emphasis on making it bigger and better, I feel like there's going to be a lot more glitches, a lot more bugs. And when players are first coming in, if they have to experience all those bugs, it's going to be a little bit of a downside. So they got to be really careful with that as well.
I agree. And to be honest, like, to your point, Lucy, I know I'm in the minority. An ideal patch for me is 0 skins, 0 heroes, and 5 to 6 pages of bug fixes. That's what I wish to see on an SMS blog post. Just all those. I can't do that. I need my face. I can't do that. I need my face.
Lucy, to be honest with you, I agree with what you're saying, but I think what JPI meant in this case was polishing up the game. He's not talking about bringing every character and put them all in because this is their hit or miss patch, but you got to fix the bugs. You have to fix and the reason I'm saying this is because through my streams too, I talk to the community. There are community members who aren't going to say anything or won't say anything, but who complain, who've seen the same bugs for 6 months, 7 months, 9 months.
Since before closed beta.
Yeah.
So, and so they do come in, you know what I mean? So if you're going to put this into marketing, and if you're going to make patch 14 the patch to open it up to everyone, it better hit the nail on the head, because you're gonna have problems after that. I'm not saying it's gonna fail. No,
they've already missed their opportunity to hit the nail on the head. Like if they would have released
this is a curveball
in the state that it was in. Patch 13 was great.
It was fantastic.
So fucking janky before that. So fucking janky, and that's what JPI was saying. That's what everybody remembers. What Predecessor did right is they went fucking dark after their janky ass first start back in March of 2018.
Yeah.
And then when they finally released and showed the community what they had,
It was almost like it never happened. Yep.
so people don't remember all that stuff. They remember Fault. Overprime is a different story. They had their janky ass game out for fucking ever, and everybody remembers that. What people remember about Overprime is trying to install it and failing. That's what they remember about Overprime, and that's what they think of Overprime. That's the uphill battle that they have to fight. I think Overprime's in a great state, and the last time I played it, it was a lot of fun and it was pretty well polished, but people don't remember that. People don't want to, they remember their first experience with the game. They remember Fault the way it released, and they're not going to come back to that. They're all just going to pin their hopes on Predecessor. But if Fault can come out with 14, promote it, and actually have it work well, it might bring some people back. I don't know.
Look, before I want to make it clear, I'm
That's a
not
good point.
saying Fault's gonna fail. I'm looking at some of the chat. I'm looking at some of the responses. Fault will not fail. Fault is gonna probably be one of those top games. But the point I was trying to make is right now, out of all of them, Fault is the only playable one. Fault only has the lead. You know what I mean? If Fault comes out with a solid for patch 14 and brings in player base, the other competitors should worry. I'm telling you right now. But if Fault comes out just like 13 and we start losing players because of the patch, then we're gonna have problems.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys know of like. Do you guys know? Are you guys aware of the number of players that have? And this is like public knowledge of how many players have given Fault or one of these para zombies a try. Like, are you like a different players, not Smurfs?
Yes.
Like,
I mean, I know the number, even Smurfs included, but yes, quite frankly.
Yeah, like we got a good number. Like it's enough to be a game that lasts 5 years at this. Like it's literally like it's a lot, and that's not even tapping to the console, which is by far the largest player base waiting.
He's 100% accurate, guys. As far as accounts created to date, if you saw that number, you'd be like, bro, that's all the player base this game needs to survive for a while, quite frankly.
There was on the Predecessor stress. Oh, I don't know if I should. I'm going to say it. Fuck it. On the Predecessor stress test, there is. Now, I can't confirm or deny that this is true, but I heard 46,000 people were trying to log on at once, and that's why this test failed, because they didn't expect.
I can confirm that. I was like watching streams on it and stuff on Predecessor, and I watched one stream literally try to get into a match for over 4 hours.
Oh yeah,
couldn't find a match. Like
I didn't get a match for 9 hours straight up.
I didn't get a match the whole
like
day.
what Vile said in the chat, it's not that Fault's the only playable one, it's the only one allowing people to play.
So
which makes it only playable. You can't go and play Predecessor right now.
Let's get this into a Predecessor conversation. All right, let's.
Agreed, which I appreciate that, Bearded.
Let's recirculate the conversation because Default is the only option right now. There are no substitutes in the market for it. You could argue Smite is a substitute, but it's really not. It's a different. It's like Fault. Paragon is an older gen. Like it's not next gen. It's PS4. We're on PS5 right now. Next gen is PS6. So Smite is ancient. It is. And there's no substitutes on the market. I really wanted to bring this conversation towards like revitalizing the player base with Fault because in my eyes, for now, Fault is do or die. The point of no return exists for businesses. And if you see the current trends of Fault, it's expected, right? You're in early access. You're going to be losing players, but you look at the last patch, they got an increase of players and it was nice for a while. But again, we're right before that new patch.
Imagine that, and they're not even marketing.
So hold on, no.
Not even marketing. They're not even trying.
I want to interject. I want to interject. I want to be the loudest one real quick. Time out. Hey,
this is the
look. Hey, hold on. Time out. Time out.
This is what we're right now in the second quarter before the half.
Go for it, but I'm talking after you. Go.
Bearded is trying to make a play. Let us play it out.
I've been trying to make a play the whole time, but I'm like,
all right. Well, you know what? Hey, referee. Real quick, I just want to say, no, offensive foul. Anyway, so here's my thing on it too. Yes. I don't disagree with you. 13 might have been a good move. As far as missed opportunity, Mango's touched on this too as well, right? But I want everybody to be mindful. Let's sit here and actually think about it. If 13 was the move, why aren't players still here? And while you think about that, that should ought to let you know right there that more retention is needed. While I was sitting there with JPI for the longest saying, hey, they need to make this free to play as soon as possible. And I still believe they do. If 13 didn't bring people back and keep them, some other method is needed. And that's what I think 14 is. I think 14 is their hopes and dreams and aspirations and goals and be like, hey, this is our retention patch. I don't think 14 is going to be make or pray. I agree with Strangers. I think 14 is going to be a stepping stone because then free to play is going to be the next hard rock. But free to play might be that final stone that either sets or keeps skipping.
Free to play it's like that is it. Like once you hit free to play,
It's do or die.
that's it. That's
No.
it. Like
No.
you don't really got much after that.
Console.
But-
You
Yeah.
release a console and it's instant revitalization. Mangoose, back me up on this, please.
That's not a good point. That's not a bad point. That's not a bad point. You literally,
Console.
you could have a dead fucking game, release it on console,
70% of
and then
Paragon's player base was console.
But they were PS4.
That's fine. And now imagine if we expand to PS4 and Xbox.
I don't think we can expand
PS4,
PS4
you can't-
anymore. It
you
has
can't
to be
expand it.
PS5.
What if there's a
But guess what?
already has
Those PS4
consoles?
players are playing PS5.
Well, hold on.
Bearded.
Not everybody has
There's gonna be
PS5.
no PS.
No,
Not everybody has PS5, but it is official as of July of this year. As of July of this year, any game that is made, whether it be for PS4 or PS5, has to be at minimum PS5 compatible. As of July 2021.
Listen,
So
it has
if
to
you're
be a
building a
PS5
if
port.
yeah, if you're building a 20 if you're building a PS4 game, you have to it has to be PS4 and PS5 as of July of this year.
So you have to put it on a PS5 port.
And that's
You know
fine.
what I mean? No,
I
it
don't
is
care.
fine. I know what you're talking
mean,
about.
So
Listen,
hold up, let's go. But no, stop. It's my turn to talk. All right, we're gonna. Let's talk about this free-to-play bullshit
Bearded,
and how it should have happened in early access.
I respect you.
Here's this.
Before when you guys said
Respecting me.
no.
I said it was
you
my
said-
turn to talk.
You said hit a goal. I think you hit a goal just right now.
All right. Well, I can't do that right now, but thank you.
Yes, not right now.
I do appreciate you. You're a beast. Thank you. Anyways, so
Go ahead. You have the conch.
free to play is not the thing to go with at early access. Like you're saying at the very beginning, JPI, you're completely wrong. And the reason you're completely wrong is because of how bad it was. You admitted how the difference is from then to now, right? So that proves that we weren't ready for it. The player base dropping as bad as it was meaning it wasn't ready for it. Because guess what? All those people that paid and left, imagine if it was free what you're going to do. I didn't pay shit for this. I have no reason to stay. I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck out. And I'm not coming back. I don't care. So you have to continue doing what we're doing. What we're doing is fine. All we're doing is we're trying to fine tune this game to get exactly where we need to be. And once we get to that, 13, like Windu said, it wasn't enough. People came back. It was a little spike. And like, it's still not where I need to be. Right. And we're not marketing. We're getting spikes. We're not marketing. We're still getting new players right now. I can load up a game right now and see somebody new in this game that I haven't seen before. So we're still doing this without marketing. Imagine
Good
what
point.
happens when we get 14 coming in and we actually start marketing what's going on from there. This game is going to grow and it still has potential.
I got the next say because he addressed something I said specifically. I feel like you're arguing for me in that if you pay nothing,
Completely not.
because I'll tell you my reasoning.
Hell no.
You said you just referenced people who paid nothing compared to people who paid something, right? If I tried the game out for paying nothing and it sucked and I didn't enjoy it and I was angry and I lost nothing. I quite literally did nothing, just my time. But so people that paid the game and they felt that same way, a free-to-play player and a player who played.
Right.
Who's more inclined to return?
No.
Who's more inclined to return?
Hear me out. So if you make something that's pay to play, how many people are going to show up?
The people who pay.
How many? Stop. How many people are going to show up?
Much less.
Exactly. If you make a game free to play, how many people are going to show up?
Everybody who wants to try it in the world, Even the people
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So then they're all going to get
Why
that.
would you not want that?
Because it was crap at the beginning.
So hold on. Here's my thing. Referee.
No.
Real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey,
Was it crap?
offensive foul. Flag on the field.
What is it?
Flag on the field. Look, this is the light bulb. Chill the fuck out. Anyway.
Making free to play.
Gosh.
I love layup play.
There's people
still
in
need
South
AI.
America that want to play, but it costs 1/3 of their weekly.
Okay, so that's
Awesome.
that.
You did
Hold on,
all
that.
this research.
They can't
I'm
afford-
glad
Wait,
you did.
wait. No. So hold on.
And I don't want them to afford it yet because it's not ready. It is not
They
ready.
want to try it. They want to play. They want to invest their time
Then
in it. And they
wait.
can't because
Guess what?
They're
When did
sacrificing
Paragon
food on
crash?
the table.
When
So-
did Paragon crash?
Listen, so
If waited this
If you
long, they
want
can wait a
Paragon
little bit longer.
results, Fault is on its crash
No,
course
it
towards
is
the
not.
same end.
It
okay,
is
no.
not.
So listen. Hey, I'm gonna need y'all to grab some composure for a second. Here's what I want to say. At the end of the day, we got to be mindful. Yes, free to play gives a different opinion. Nobody's gonna argue that. At the end of the day, you will judge something harsher when you give up something for it. If it is given to you, you can have the shittiest game ever and be like, yeah, it's a pretty fun game of Tetris. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is kind of cool. But when you have to actually surrender your own hard-earned money for it, it does change. Yes. What I will say though is on early access, July 20, what fucking was it? 2020? Right? I don't even know what fucking year I'm in. But
July 18th, bro.
thank you. My bad. But
July 17th, but in 2020.
it's somewhere around there. Y'all get what I'm saying. So my point is, if Fault have gone free to play at that specific point, I honestly think their biggest hurdle right now would have been going against this uphill fucking struggle of the negative reviews, which I easily could have seen over 75% being wrong. What I really believe Fault should have done is delay that early access until that patch 13 stage. This is all in the past. We can debate about this left and right. At the end of the day, hindsight is always 2020, right? But it is one of those things that we all can agree. Patch 13 forward feels better. Prior to patch 13 does not feel as good. If it didn't feel as good as patch 13, imagine, even if just that initial player base would have felt the feeling that patch 13 felt. Because JPI brings up a great point. When you pay for it, you're less likely to come back. You're more likely to get a refund if it's less than 2 hours. You're more likely to have some sort of resentment towards any sort of purchase. But at the end of the day, if that first impression, which is huge, is better, it will be a lasting impression.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
And
yes. And
go ahead.
If you paid for it and you weren't able to get your refund, guess what you can do? 2 years down the line, you can reinstall it because you already have it. It's yours. So if you uninstalled it, but I'm saying that's got nothing to do with you having the ability to install it, right? If you played it early access and you thought it was ass and you uninstalled the game because you played it for more than 2 hours, you couldn't get a refund, right? So when all of a sudden you see this big hype trade, what the fuck's going on? We got fucking Tim the Tatman playing fucking, Fault. What the hell's this? Oh shit, this looks a lot better than when I played early access. Bam, I can install this.
So kudos for minimizing, maximizing, by the way. That was 100% sales tactic.
Oh,
But go ahead, Jay.
Like, listen, even if Tim the Tatman played the game, it doesn't ensure the success of the game.
Fall Guys.
Summit
No.
1G played Paragon. Summit 1G played Paragon. He's one of the biggest streamers on the entire platform.
Tatman played Crucible.
Summit 1G love Paragon. It's worth mentioning on what JPI just said.
And
Summit 1G did love Paragon.
He played it. He thought it was cool. Streamers make a huge impact. I wouldn't argue that, but the thing is, it takes so much more than that. And with the free to play argument now,
it doesn't. I'm sorry. Let's go with that point real quick. Sorry, but that when Summit played that, streaming wasn't as big as it is right now.
No,
right now,
you had multimillionaires as streamers.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to disagree on Bearder's point at this point, because it's not accurate to say the streaming wasn't as big. If anything, streaming was on the biggest incline that it had ever been, peaking 2020 when Twitch actually reached over 7.4 million streamers.
2020.
Sorry.
Was Paragon?
I'm 20. I understand, but let that be an indicator. If the from 2019 to 2020, because of COVID and other reasons, the amount of streamers on the platform over doubled. We went from 3.4 to 7.4 million individual streamers. If you want to use these facts, we got to be reasonable and actually mindful of the fact that there are now over double the amount of streamers on the entire platform worldwide, and we still only got 15 people streaming Fall. That is, you got to consider that if you're going to talk about streamers, because a big streamer does not make or break a game. A big streamer does not make or break a game. Their opinion matters to their community, yes. What about Phasmophobia?
It was a no thing before when the big streamers
Among
actually
Us
started
is a
playing
better
it.
example.
Among Us, there you go.
But
Yeah.
now to like, the thing is, it's more complicated than we're making it out. But again, Paragon is an example of a failed case where you had Tyler 1 try Paragon, you had Summit 1G try Paragon, failed. Among Us, it was a game that came out during a pandemic.
By the way, before we continue here real quick, I'm gonna let J-Pie keep talking. By the way, guys, we're all friendly. I promise. We get heated, and here's hold on. Here's the thing: if y'all don't know, and this is also for the co-hosts here, right? Everybody in here, Lucy, Stunt, Stranger, Mangoose. If you guys have never seen me, J-Pie, and Bearded go at it, we go at it. Don't be afraid to interrupt. As far as co-hosts, don't think that we're over here trying to I'm never gonna bat that bitch. Swear to God, no, bro, that's not what's gonna happen.
All
right, you're good, Lucy. You're good.
Yeah, you gotta see me and J-Pie's Discord DMs. He literally hit me up and said, "Hey, hold nothing back," and sent me a heart.
I'm just gonna take a big stance. J-Pie, if they went free to play, when early access released, Fault would be dead already. I'm glad they made the right move.
I don't disagree.
I disagree because you know what? State your position and then let's talk about it. But I wanted to talk about what David said, but you know what?
So I want to talk about all this. Let's do this. I agree. Let's talk about all this. I'm gonna put a timeout on this conversation real quick because we're only on the second picture, bro. Let me get through these pictures and then we can go at it, bro. Yes, cool your head. Anyway, third picture that they announced here is their dawn and now dusk equivalent of the draft screen. Now, I'll be real with you, as far as this dusk equivalent, I don't know how I felt about it. I'll be real. This is a very dark background. I like that they're implementing a little bit more lighting into it. Give me your thoughts on it, but we will go back to what you were saying, J-Pie. Hold me to that.
If it's a load screen, it's a beautiful load screen. Thank you. That's my
it's a draft screen, I think, but it's fantastic.
My thoughts are that I don't give a fuck about these pictures. I want to talk about monetization. I'm in J-Pi's
Whoa,
here.
we're going, bro. We're going. Trust me, we're gonna get juicy. We're gonna get juicy.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be back in just a second.
All right, you're good. So, if anything, here's still my concern on it. I don't know if this is just draft screen or this is actually going to be implemented into the map, because part of me almost thinks that it would be easier to kind of double dip, make your draft screen part of the map. You get what I'm saying? Only have one asset to render. But I don't know. Is there anybody that kind of wants to throw 2 cents into this specific picture before we move forward?
We do know that at minimum it is the draft screen, right? Because we know that the dawn side is that draft screen we've seen before, right? So this is the first time we get to see the dusk, and we only get a little snippet of it. And I retweeted this picture with Luke joined the dark side because that dusk side looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, it does.
So
I agree.
I'm all about it. I can't wait. So I like it. If it's not part of the map, I don't know. I don't know how much it's gonna. I think this, it might not be a part of the map, but I think this is
it's like a draft screen like we have right now, basically.
Right. I think this is an insinuation of what we're going to see in the map. Like, you know, it might not be exactly what, you know, the base or whatever, but this is close to what we're going to be getting.
I mean,
I like
fair
the
enough.
darkness window.
I'm not. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what you meant by too dark. I like that darkness. I do like that design. And I'm thinking when we're in game, that volcano, that the background is probably gonna light up the room a little bit more.
Maybe.
Being a JPEG, being a picture, it looks a little dark. I'm pretty sure it's gonna light up the room really well. And even the plates on these, you don't see the plates like you do in the dusk side. I'm guessing that there's gonna be like lava plates or something like that up where the characters stand on. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty lit.
I don't disagree. So let me ask this. Let's move on to the next one. They released a
Hold
picture.
on. Lucy just got back. Lucy, what do you think about
Yes.
these, the dawn or dusk side?
I like how. So, my personal thing about the dawn and dust side, I think, is going to be a little bit of a kind of a throwback to Paragon, which I think will be good because a lot of people who are going on to Fall, who are trying out Predecessor and stuff, is trying to find that replacement. And so I feel like getting that little bit of the old Paragon in it without it being a replica of Paragon is actually a really good step forward.
That's a good point.
I disagree.
Now-
I disagree. I think we need to move away from the Paragon situation. We've already got the heroes. That's a good enough. We need to start putting in faults.
More individuality.
Yeah, you need to show me as an indie dev company that you have the ability to be a AAA company and start making your own stuff. Quit using the assets and let's move on.
I mean, well, so hold on. Here's the thing, though. Look at these pictures. I recognize these spawn stations at the bottom, right, with like the little arrow pointed towards you. That's very Paragon, right? The little orbs in the tower is very Paragon. So, but I will say, this is something that's very commonly seen amongst a lot of games where they use the assets, but they transform them to their own vision. Do you think that is still frowned upon, where they transform an existing asset and make it their own?
No, it depends on how transformed it is. You know, it literally needs to be like, I don't want to look at it and be like, yep, I remember that. You know, it's got to be
That
something.
resemblance.
Yeah.
You want like a new identity.
Yeah, I want something new. You can use, I mean, I'm not, you know, you don't have to, we don't have to recreate the wheel, you know?
Dude, I'll be real.
You better get some better rims though.
New identity is as simple as get rid of Dawn and Dusk. Call it something else. You come up with a new color scheme.
Yeah.
And then literally now you got new textures. Now everything that's already there looks totally different. If I gave you your exact same car painted a different color, you might think it's a different car just because the color changed. You get me? So it's all a matter of perspective. I don't disagree with Bearded as far as we need more originality, but I do want to point out to everybody listening that there is a very fine line between originality and, quite frankly, what's known as stealing shamelessly and adapting. Because every game does it, and anybody that's not using every leg up, for example, a free asset that is high quality that you can transform to your advantage, that's, if you don't use that at your disposal, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, the assets are there. You should use them. They're just too good to pass up.
Now, I actually want to start off with Lucy on this one. What do you think about this mana, like their new artwork for Mana Shard item? Because I don't even know why they're reworking on that one personally, but I want to hear what you guys think.
It's just a plain looking crystal to me. Like there's nothing really
It's
amazing.
something different though, is it not?
Are they polishing it a little bit? Are they trying to show us that the new, like the new images of the item system is going to be more like colorful, more detailed? That's what I took of it. I mean, does it look any different from the old?
You guys are acting like this is this in the game? I don't remember this being
in the game.
No. It's supposed to be on with 14. I'm thinking this is why I was asking you guys. Are they just upgrading like the graphics or what? Like
I think they're hinting that it's going to do something different, which I'm hoping is mana regen, because we do not have enough mana regen items in the game right now.
True. Yeah. True. I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Quit raising your hand. Just speak up.
I got a question for everyone in the chat. And what League of Legends item do you think this is?
I don't play League of Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Stranger brings up a great point. We all know that Fault is heavily inspired by League of Legends, right?
Right.
And
didn't you just say this though? The whole shamelessly steal.
Yes, and that's what I was about to say. Like, I am okay with similar items. I mean, hell, I'll be honest with you guys. If you guys look at Sparrow and you don't think of Ash, we got to have a different conversation. But at the end of the day, I'm not against their art team revamping their items, because I think that's all going to be necessary, essentially.
Stop saying revamp. What is this revamp?
Okay, so revamping literally just means a new image, right? Like, imagine you have an old profile picture. I took a more modern picture of you. It's still fucking you, but this is a new picture. That's essentially what we're seeing here with with this fucking mana shard, bro.
Sparrow is not a good comparison. I just want that.
Hold on. A new picture of what?
Okay, we'll talk about that one later. If I got you, we'll hit it. Write that one down too. So I'm referring to the mana shard, because we currently do have a shard that gives you mana when you equip it as a T1 item, because this is a T1 item, right? This is just a basic, like, hey, I click it one time, I don't even think about it, I'm building to the big one. But like, I'm not against some trying to reorganize. We had this conversation also about how, like, a vial, a little tube doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting attack speed, right? Like, it's kind of a stretch. So I'm okay with them working on items and how they fit better in certain scenarios and such. My thing would be is, I know for a fact that Fault has stated in the past that their items were planned to eventually be 3D pictures. And I'm pretty sure...
Yeah, they did say that, yeah.
Pretty sure we've all heard this. So I'm okay with item revamps. I'm okay with new items being added. But my question is, at one point, are we going to start transitioning to these 3D pictures? Because the more items you add, the more reworks you do, that's just more work you have to do later and overhaul every picture.
I mean, it's a
Hold
picture.
on. I'm still lost.
I want
on
the
whole
item
thing.
to work well.
So you're saying this is the replacement for Crystal?
It's
I
a
think
new
so.
item.
It gives you
I think so.
50 mana?
I think so. This is literally a mana shard T1 item. It's going to give you mana, and that's it.
I don't think
Could
so.
be.
I literally think this is the replacement for Crystal, because all Crystal does is give you mana. What is this? It's a fucking crystal that gives you mana.
I think it's going to give you mana regen.
I hope it gives mana regen, because there's the book is the only item that gives mana regen currently.
Well, but that's all. That's also along to the point where mana regen and health regen both are very hard to balance and very easy to abuse. If those of you that might remember, Fault in the early days had a lot of health regen, a lot of mana regen, and a lot of their items. They almost took everything away because of how hard it was to balance. Ironically, then they put the green buff. That's a different conversation to have. The green shine. It even says in the tweet, feast your eyes on a new component item we will be adding to our collection. How many times have they added a new component or a new full item and removed the old one? Where's Stormquiver right now, bro?
You have a good point, Windu, because I'm going to tell you what, man. I don't know of any like tier 3 items that are completed that have mana regen. There's very few in the game, if any.
Yeah, it's very scarce.
It's a mana regen item. I certainly hope it is, because the game desperately needs it. I understand it's hard to balance, but it is just like you want to give the players tools to create in the game.
Yeah.
Like, if it's overpowered, okay, they're going to run wild for 4 weeks and then you'll balance it. But
so here's the issue. Mana regen, specifically on this subject, the reason why it's so hard is not because mana regen as an item is hard to balance. It's because they have an aspect that's going to give you mana regen based off of your max mana. And half of their damage items give you mana. So the more mana you build, the more mana regen you got. Now throw on some mana regen on top of that, you're spamming abilities all game. Now you got a Gideon that's arguably the highest dealing damage dealer mage-wise, just spamming abilities left and right constantly, and he's got all the mana regen in the world. That's a problem, because you got to be mindful. It's not the fact that these items are being balanced from a MOBA standpoint, and that's the issue. It's the fact that they're trying to throw their own individual twist by having these aspects in there, and that's conflicting. You know why tanks are so fucking strong? Because they have cards like Titan. The more health that you build, the more power you get. It's contradictory. I'm building power, building health and getting power out of it. You're literally saying, hey, let me get tanky and strong. No, bro. The only one that should be able to do that is Sevarog with stacks. So there's a lot of convoluting ideas in there that when paired with items are kind of borderline, like, whoa, this is a little strong. And they've done a good job of slowly toning those back. But their unique aspect system with that, which I love and I think they should keep, is the main reason why balancing is so hard. Sorry, I went on a rant. Go ahead.
It's crazy.
What's up?
They said they were going to take out the aspect system. Now
did they? I know.
Ago.
No, I don't know if they said that they were gonna take it
in writing.
Yeah, I know that. I know they mentioned that they were going to do an aspect and favor rework. We saw the favor rework.
Yep.
We did not see any aspect changes. Yep, that's true. They took out the favor scaling off of the items, which definitely helped with all the snowballing that happens, quite frankly. So that was a good that was a good change. I agree. And I agree that the favor rework to adding a flat stat value, whether it be pen, power, health, ability damage, etc. I think that was a very, very good move by all means. But we haven't seen these actual aspects change. Think about it. When's the last time you saw a new aspect? Or aspects adjusted. I can tell you when purple aspects got added, because before there was only one, then they made it 3, and we haven't seen a single aspect since.
I'll tell you when I saw the next aspect.
King got adjusted. King,
no. I'll tell you.
Okay, you're right.
The biggest thing, and I don't understand how you guys missed it. Did you see the Twitter tease on that the SMS did? If you look on the left side, there's a bunch of different buffs happening there. It's specifically when they tease the AI.
Yep.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was researching it and everything. I'm not one word of a lie.
New aspects, new buffs.
Pull it up right now.
Made some updates. Thank goodness, it's desperately needed. But I think they refined the aspect system, and I'm extremely happy to see what it's about, because the current aspect system is, you know, they had enough information numbers, and I'm so happy that they updated it. But in this new patch, they're going to have some new aspects, or at least some refined versions.
I don't know if it was new aspects or if it was just a new item or something, and it was and like an improved UI.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 new buffs. You know what? I'm pulling it up right now. I'll tell you exactly.
You can see it, yeah.
So here's the thing: the Twitter file is definitely not the highest quality, but I can read you what I see right now: multi-kill, blue buff, ancient blessing, desperation, overdrive, burst of aggression, trauma. That's basically what pops up. We all know like half of those are related to Twin Blast and its passive, right?
All those are in the game already, besides burst of aggression. I don't know what that is.
Burst of aggression, I don't know. Maybe they could be correlating it to hunt aspect, right? Maybe that little extra attack speed that you get based off of landing 3 basic attacks within a time frame.
Wait, what are you guys talking about right now?
I'm talking about the AI teaser that they did with all the different buffs on the left side.
But which buff?
Specifically burst of aggression.
Yeah.
Which the icon that pops up under burst of aggression is a physical pen item, actually, because it shows the shield with the axe in it.
Could it be aggressor? Could it be the aggressor aspect if you're on their side of the map? You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe that makes sense. Twin blast with aggressor. That's a bold move. That's definitely an AI move.
You guys know this game way better than I do. What is overdrive? What is desperation?
Overdrive is all. Desperation is the purple card that you gain health when you get below a certain thing. Multi-kills. Oh, Oh,
Correct.
that is new.
Ancient
But
Blessing.
multi-kill is pretty self-explanatory.
Ancient
Ancient
Blessing
Blessing is
is
the green buff.
The green buff,
Green
yeah.
buff, yeah.
There is a multi-kill stack on there. It says
Wait,
times
doesn't
20.
have- Yeah. But isn't a green buff on?
If multi-kill is self-explanatory, I'm not smart enough to understand. Can you?
No, like I'll be honest with you. I don't fully understand it because it does say multi-kill X20, right? Maybe
Times you got 2 more kills.
Well, hold on. Maybe it is very possible. Maybe there's an aspect that will give you a scaling amount of stat based off of how many times you've gotten a multi-kill. You get 1 kill, you don't get the stack. You get a minimum of 2 kills, now you might get a stack. All we see here is Twin Blast has multi-kill stacks of 20. What that means, not 100% sure. Could be pen, could be flat power. At this point, we see the axe. We see the axe with some lines. So that almost means, like to me, that would mean attack speed stacking.
You know what? So I personally think that the king aspect should just be removed and needs to be replaced. What if this multi-kill is the new red aspect? Because I don't know if you guys are free to agree or disagree, but I think king is just like, I don't like having stuff that you have to use or you're just inting the game. Like if you're in the duel
Yeah,
lane,
that's very unhealthy for the game, of course.
If you're not using king, you're just getting less gold. And that in itself is, you're just going to lose lane against someone at the same skill level. So
I agree.
I agree.
They need to. What I feel is that I know it's in an earlier state, but the aspect system, they need to continue to refine it because it's kind of like you have certain roles and heroes that will pick certain aspects where the strategy, like, and again, I don't like that you can load into a game and see from the jump before you even see the enemy heroes, you see exactly what aspects that they do because you already know what their strategy is. You can already prepare against it. So that's
definitely just a bug that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible move and it should be addressed because if I'm Sevarog and I see a Chimera, Aggressor, Beast Hunter, I already know he's invading my jungle and I'm going to invade his. I don't think it's a good move. You know, there should be that unknown aspect. It's important to always keep you on your toes, you know, because it's like,
you don't know who the enemy jungler is until you run into him and it's like, oh shit, it's a fucking Decker jungle. What the fuck is this?
And then it just adds to how the importance of those first few minutes, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't disagree, and I'm sure that's something that they are specifically working on. And just really quick before we go into deep debate here, and I do want to hear thoughts on these debates from individuals like Mangoose that said his intro and has been quiet the whole time. Got him. So Strange Matters was showing their progression in a way, right? By throwing a hashtag throwback, right? And they show Microsoft Paint with their old school menu made, and they say it may or may not have been created in Microsoft Paint. How do you guys feel about that specific post? Because I have mixed feelings on it.
I hate it.
I like that they're showing like where they've came from, which is great. And I mean, it's just like, listen, if you need content, that's a good way to go. Like, if you know what I mean. But I mean, like, it's obviously not the best. It's, you know, it's just there to get like an awe moment. And
interesting.
You have to read what the tweet says, or you're just going to look at it and think it's bad, which kind of sucks. But
interesting.
Okay, I played the game when it was like that, and I understand that, like, from a perspective of a developer, people who worked in the company, they should rightfully so be proud of the progress that they've made, but that's not something that you advertise. Like, are you just trying to be some small shot indie developer studio that's showcasing these things? Do you ever see League of Legends doing this? Do you ever see Dota? Do you ever see any huge companies kind of showing like, hey, look, we made something in MS Paint. Look at where we are now. You never see that.
Well, hold on. So here's where I think they miss an opportunity. It's okay to show your origins, but I don't think ever marketing wise or like sales wise, it's okay to show your origins without showing where you are now. If they would have shown that original shop and then show that shop now and be like, God damn, that's gotten better. Okay. But then just be like, oh, look, Microsoft Paint, guys, and be like, it's somebody that might not know the game looks at this and be like, well, is it that? Is it better? Like, it might draw some curiosity, but this isn't the type of post that draws people in. This is more a post for the OG community, right? And that's why I think it's very important to, when they do moments like this, which I think they should, show the before and after, the after needs to be the highlight.
Yep.
It does, yeah, I agree.
But it needs to be done just like your video, Windu. We showed it last panel, I believe. You pulled up your video that you made for the year and a year from today. Like, here, this is what we had a year now. This is what we got now, and that's what it needs to be done.
Agreed.
Happy,
but I'm not Strange Matters.
Much better. Exactly. So no, you're not, and that's fine. But so I'm okay with this post. I do agree it would have been better to put the after on there. It would have made it a tons better, but I'm okay with them doing it because they're not a AAA company like fucking League of Legends or Dota or whatever. And I mean, I don't know, when League of Legends came out, was there social media for them to even do this? So I don't think they could have done something like this. Let's go back to that time frame. Like, how long ago was that?
It was
MySpace, and
it was a different age.
Actually did something like this.
It was a different age for sure.
I understand the inclination to go back to that time. Like, when was it? 2009. But it's not so beneficial now. And what I want to say is, with
a good point. Public's perspective changes. For sure.
It was a different world. It was a different world back then, and it's not applicable to what it is now. And this was one of my topics that I wanted to bring up, and it's this one is specifically directed towards the moderators of Discord and the Reddits, and there's some of these answers that I've encountered where it's kind of like, oh, here at SMS we're just an indie studio, we're working extremely hard and we're just trying our best. And if you're trying to garner pity, you're doing a really good job. But as a business, you don't ever want to have other people feel pity towards you. You gotta be meeting your customers' expectations. That's just it, man.
I've said it before. I've said this before. Nobody gives a shit at the end of the day if you're a AAA company or if you're an indie studio. What they want is the game. If the game is good, they'll play it. Yeah. If it's not good, they won't play it. They don't give a shit about who created the game. We give a shit because we're early. We're like,
I was just gonna say too, there's a lot of people like me who, to me, this isn't a make or break deal. I actually scroll through this without even looking at it. I don't care. I care about the game. I jump in. I like what I see. I play it. I have my friends there. We giggle. We have fun. End of story.
Just think about like how you got into Paragon, right? Like it was free to play on the PlayStation Store for a majority. It looked better than any game at the time, and it was the first cross-platform game, so people played it. And it was like the first real MOBA. Well, I mean, Smite existed, but Smite was very small back then, and it was backed by Epic Games, which was a big deal, right? People started playing it because it was free, and then people kept playing it because it was good and it looked good. Mm-hmm. But like with contrary to Fault, I guess, and this pertains to all Parad zombies, they just don't have that, right? Like you can get people to try, but how do you get people to stay? And that's where point 14 is really going to come in. Like the new AI, I think it's going to be amazing. And if they go free to play with 14, they're going to have all these new players that have to go through the AI system first. So you're going to force them to have good games, to have a bit of joy, because a MOBA always has a steep learning curve, and then there's Fault that has a really steep learning curve, in my opinion.
You say that if they go free to play with 14, then you're going to have that. That's insinuating that you're not going to have that if you go free to play with 15 or 16.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You will.
But listen, with 15 and 16, right now, Fault's the only one on that you can play. That's a huge positive.
That's a huge lead
SMS for sure to capitalize on, because the next big patch, can we say in 5 to 6 months, because that's about the time that it takes, right? The last big patch was when? May 13? And now it's October 22nd. It's 5 months later, about to be 6 months. Not about to be. I'm going to be as accurate as possible. Going on 6 months. We don't have the next big patch yet. Can we say that the next big patch there's Overprime's not going to be playable? Predecessor's not going to be playable? I would say that they probably will be. And I think that right now, this is the time to strike while the iron's hot. And like many of my points that I wanted to get across was to empower Fault to really capitalize on this. Because, like, for example, why do they have a leaderboard on their main website? What are you the leaderboard of? A fairy tale ranked environment? What are you pretending for? Oh, wow, the top 50 players are the best at teaming up and beating up on noobs.
So
everybody.
So I will say,
casual players will carry the game. Casual players will carry the game. We need the casual players. Salvage them, because people, dude, Windu, this is a huge issue here.
So I
run for the hills when they play Fault.
I will say, I think that the only reason that's even on there is because of community requests. And I think that might honestly have more of a different subject to have as to where some individuals might carry more weight than others, as far as, higher tier players might have more say as opposed to the casual player, which shouldn't necessarily always be the case. But I want to go back just one step as to what you mentioned, because this is a conversation that, quite frankly, needs to be had, right? I don't disagree with you. Taking advantage of being first to market is huge. Taking advantage that you're already there. You're already running a live game for over a year. Other companies can't say that. When they go live, they're going to run into issues. You're not wrong at all. I 100% support you on that one. I 100% agree that timelines are uncertain, specifically with other companies that are now backed by AAA giants like Overprime. You never know if next month they might come out with a console release, because that's how AAA companies work, right? So it is all worth being conscientious of everything that's going on in the surroundings. Now, I'll be real. My thing is also, as far as Fault is concerned, whenever it comes down to all the different aspects, I first want to, I want to throw it out there and saying that the overall objective of these conversations is to provide feedback, to provide constructive criticism. And everything that we say in these chats should be taken as constructive criticism. If anybody is listening to this shit and you get salty about it, you need to reevaluate how you're listening to this. That's the first thing I'm going to throw out there. Secondary, low key, as far as the marketing, because you know me, I'm a very business oriented guy. I want to go back to what JPI mentioned as opposed to the post, like, hey, this isn't League of Legends back then. The markets change. I highly suggest that Strange Matters always looks at the fact of make us look better first and then show where we've come from. Because people don't even realize how many times do people just swipe by a post looking at the first picture, but they don't look at the other three. Just think about that. How many times? Exactly. So it's very crucial, and I highly suggest for Strange Matters, they need to make sure that they're showing their best foot forward always. You want to show this old UI? No problem. I love the fact that you're showing Origins, but you should have shown me how good as fuck your new UI looks. And then for those individuals that want to see the old one, swipe right to see where we came from. But even if they don't swipe right, look at how good our shit looks. Come play our fucking game. That's how the marketing should be done. Yeah. And that's all progression that they are going to iron out the kicks going down the road, right? But I do want to stress that moving forward, specifically since they've been mentioning so much as to 14 forward, patch 14 forward is going to be the advertisement era for this game. That's when we're going to start advertisement, and we're going to ramp up from there. Yeah, but and I hope so too. But it's very, very important and very crucial that we provide this feedback now, because if that advertisement comes out, if this advertisement were to be released right now, a year from now, I can't say that this specific post will be received the same. as it is right now.
Yeah,
It's
they
very,
They
it's
need to
very,
cut the
yeah.
QT bullshit and be a business.
So I
That's
actually
some
want to
QT
interject
bullshit.
about something.
Yes, go ahead, Lucy.
You guys were talking about like the leaderboard and the ranks and stuff like that on the website. What I think the game needs for patch 14, if it's going to be a free to play kind of game and something that they definitely need in it, if we're going to be bringing in a whole lot of new players, whether they're, played Paragon or first MOBA ever, or they're coming from Smite or whatever, what they definitely need is bot matches. They need to be able to have an easy setup, not going up against harder players and people who, just kind of suck at the game, but at least knows how the mechanics work to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if they just get shitted on for like the first couple of games, then they're not going to enjoy it. If they, I could do PvP and they try it out. Or I remember when I first started Paragon, they made it mandatory for you to do like 10 bot matches. So you can start, seeing how the builds work and what to build and what works for it and so on and so forth. That's going to be a huge thing. That needs to come out with the free to play, I believe.
Well,
That's coming out with next patch. That's coming out with next
14,
patch.
that AI mode 14 is going to be in 14. So
Yeah,
that's
and
happening.
they also announced that they are having like that system, like the new player onboarding system. You have to play a few AI first before you can play PvP.
Which is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. But I'm talking about, like, we're a part of the community, right? We are live streamers, which is larger than the average player. What I'm talking about is that this, for the sake of Fault, the reason why I recommended Fault as in Strange Matter Studios, the company itself, removing the leaderboards, it's more than just something like new player onboarding. Because tell me, how many times have you heard this? Oh, I'm just trying to get to gold. Or, oh, I lost 20 ELO in that game. Or how many times have you I just saw this 2 days ago. A streamer is unhappy with the performance of an underperforming player, pull up their fault metrics on stream. They have a laugh at the new player. The whole stream laughs. Oh, 860 LO. Oh, how did he get so low? What a fucking loser. It's not good. It's not good at all. The game's so far remotely removed from being anything considered competitive. Just put it on hold. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but just remove the leaderboards, talk to Fault Metrics, take it offline until the game is in a state where you can actually harbor a competitive environment, because the only competitive matches that have ever been held in Fault are the community held tournaments. I remember Plato holding one in Twitch Rivals where people submitted their names, where everyone's on the same page, everyone knows the stakes, and everyone is going all out 100%. That's not the state when somebody queues up for a casual Fault game. And you see it. Check the Reddit. So many posts are just, why are people being such assholes? Why are they so toxic?
Yeah, it's common.
The
for sure.
leaderboards and Fault Metrics is a huge contributor to the vitriol. And I agree with Windu. Let's recommend positive changes. This is one. Get rid of it. You know what? I implore everyone. Mangoose, Stunt, Stranger, Windu, Lucy, Bearded. What benefits does the leaderboard give? Just enlighten me. In early access right now, what are the benefits of having
none. And this has been common with Fault since the very beginning, since during testing. I said it during testing. If anybody was there to hear me yell at some people in Fault, then
yes. Yeah. Present.
Yeah.
Present.
They needed to make a decision whether they were trying to make a fucking video game or make a dick measuring contest for streamers, because that's what every test session was. And that attitude has carried forward into the game. It's
correct.
Like nobody was testing. Nobody was like, let's see what this item does. Let's see what happens if I go here. Let's see No, it was a fucking full on competitive match every single fucking time. And I'm like, Jesus, give me, like, how are you going to find anything out? And then when they released it was full of fucking bugs.
Which it is important to say. Yeah, it is important to say that that system has then since then been adjusted. Unfortunately, that's how it used to be. By all means, that system has since then been adjusted. But I will provide your counter argument right now, and I will start with the example A of: do you guys remember when they publicly released the MMR curve that was currently in the game and what they were wanting to aim for?
Oh my gosh, it was literally backwards.
Correct.
They had what they wanted, yeah.
Correct. So in a traditional MMR curve, in case some of you might not know, I'll try to kind of draw here on the screen for you. So you have the beginning elo at the bottom, right? Let's say it's flat 0. Like at this point, I'm gonna be real with you, hire somebody to help you, right? And then you have master, like I'm talking about the highest of the highest, way over here, right? So the traditional curve is a bell shape where the majority of your community is somewhere in the middle, kind of experience, not too crazy OP, not too crazy, you know, like brand new, like, oh, how do I move? You said WASD, right? So that's a traditional curve. But what they had beforehand was a curve where here goes the beginning player, rise, a shit ton of players, dive. Now there's nobody in this middle section. And then here go a ton of experienced players. And that is my theory as to why the ELO system is still in place, why the MMR system is still in place, why they care so much about it, why, and kind of what I mentioned earlier, why so many experienced people might have more influence. Because you got to be mindful. We've mentioned this to the fact that the casual players aren't necessarily sticking around always. The casual players are at times being pushed away by toxicity. They're at times being pushed away by complexity, lack of tutorials, etc. Hopefully patch 14 will fix this. But when all those players are being pushed away, this solid core, and we talked about this last partner panel, the solid core of the most loyal players are the ones that play this shit the most, the ones that are the best at this game. Those individuals really only care about performance. I gotta maximize. You know what? This game is still growing, but I gotta get every fucking last hit that I can. My fun is to destroy other people. I understand that side. I'm not saying that that's the side that should be listened to. But that is my reasoning as to why they probably still have that system in there. Because if they don't have a competitive system in there, they might be afraid of losing that core player base.
I'm going to respectfully disagree, brother. It's not that it's not important. Right now isn't the time for that.
It's not at all.
I can literally sit here and talk to the community members right now watching the stream who deserve to flex their elo, who play at that level.
Nobody
more high up there. J-Pipe. I'm not saying dick measuring content, but listen out.
Nope.
But how many of these guys still have Smurf accounts because they can't even get into a game with their actual elo?
They deserve to wait. Time. If you're that high, what do you mean? Fucking wait.
No, but wait, you did the struggle. You got there, right? But the point is, the point is, like,
they didn't get there without teaming up with people and beating up on randoms.
Well, that's not true for the top 50, but
are you serious? They're the biggest offenders, dog. Come on.
The way I see it is the elo system needs to be there. Is it the time? No, because the player base is small. But what I'm saying is,
it needs to be internal.
And that's what I was just saying. You don't need to.
It doesn't have to go away. It just doesn't have to be public.
The devs need to see it so we can make sure we're getting the bell curve that we want. That's what needs to happen.
You know what? Also, like the devs, Bearded, the devs, nobody else.
I agree.
Listen,
I was like, how did you disagree with me? I'm like, what?
No, I'm sorry. Bearded. I know. I
just because he hears you talking, man.
Initially, I misspoke, but I agree with you. But I just wanted to add and then let you guys finish. I messaged on the Discord and I asked the mods, I said, who is in charge? Is Fault Metrics in charge? Are they getting information from SMS or is SMS getting information from Fault Metrics? SMS is the originator. They have the power to just shut it down at the source. And SMS...
Correct. Fault Metrics doesn't get updated information unless Fault updates it. It's a manually updated thing.
To Windu's point, I'm not talking about Predecessor. I'm not talking about Overprime. I'm on the Fault Partner panel. I'm talking about Fault. I want you guys to succeed. Shut that shit down ASAP. The EP measuring has gone on long enough. You guys don't need it. It's not conducive to a casual player base. And the casual player base is the most important aspect of any MOBA. Please take it out ASAP.
And
on top of that, like, sorry to interrupt, folks.
No, you're good.
Something that I've also done is like, I'll be playing a game and I'll be like, man, I just got smoked. Let me go on Fault Metrics or playfault.com. Why am I playing against I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, 2000 elo or yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a bronze. Like, and I shouldn't, in a player base that's this small, when you're still trying to figure out your matchmaking, when you're still in early access, I don't need to know that I got smoked because the teams were unbalanced from the get-go. Like that just feels bad because then you're just rolling a roulette. Like, next game, am I going to play them again and just get smoked? Because no one wants to get smoked for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? That's just that in any MOBA, that's just not fun.
So here's what I think they should do. Here's what I think they should do. And here's what I think that will happen if they do it, right? Because it's not about just cause. We got to consider the effect as well. I really think they should just not make the MMR public. Step number one, right?
Yeah.
Not make it public. Number two, they have to, I know they know this by now, but it's also letting the community know, if you remove the MMR, player base will drop even more. There will be a time slot where the competitive player base that only cares about that MMR, which are the casual tryhards every single day grinding, the ones that you see in every single match, this is the only game that they play. You get me? You might lose those, and that's going to be a hit for the game. But sometimes you have to take 3 steps back in order to go in the right direction and the right path. You will lose player base. Yes, you will lose player base. That player base will decline. It's going to hurt. But what you can start doing is generating a more organic player base based off of casual players wanting to learn the game, etc. Because quite frankly, if there is no MMR to chase the most experienced player, quite frankly, sometimes they're not just gonna play this game for fun. They're fun. Like, when you're at that level, your fun is to be better than everybody. If there's no way to measure yourself against other people except on a match by match basis, that's not gonna happen as much. Now, it's double-edged sword because they want experienced players to give them feedback. They want experienced players to establish a proper MOBA down the road, right? It's going to be one of those things that it's going to be hard to keep those high tier players that want that progression. And that's why they've been as such a toss up with it, more than likely, because you literally can't please everyone. You have to please somebody. And from my personal opinion, it looks like they've been tailoring towards the more experienced players because they've been trying to make a competitive MOBA. I don't necessarily agree that this game needs to be a competitive MOBA now, because even the most casual of games, as JPie says, turns competitive. How many fucking people are still playing Smash Brothers Melee till this day competitively? Right. And that shit hasn't been updated in so long.
They've been very vocal about it from the very beginning. That their whole goal is to have ranked and be esports material. That's their goal. So this shows that that's what they're really trying to do. Is that the way to do it in the very beginning? I don't think it needs to be this hardcore. We can definitely make it internal only. Still figure what we need to figure out. And then when we go full release, and when you got full release and you got ranked mode, that's when you can really start focusing harder on that.
Even then, I don't think the casual one should be released for a while, to be honest.
Guys,
as a full release ranked mode, as I said.
How big?
No, I know, but casual MMR would still be there along with the ranked MMR. Those are two very different things. But there will always be a casual MMR in there in order to try and find the best balanced matches for you, even though it doesn't have to be seen.
You could leave that internal. I'm talking about you. The whole point of that is people leaving is because they're not able to see it. Those are the ones that will be competitive. That's going to be ranked mode. That's going to be what you're going to want to see where you're at in ranked. That's fine. The casual MMR, you don't need to see that. Go play Call of Duty right now. I don't think you can play casual, like you're not gonna be able to see your ranking on Call of Duty. If I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. But I don't remember seeing it every time I play Call of Duty.
You can't see it anywhere. The API is completely internal.
So you don't need that, but you can make it the API for ranked MMR to be external, so you can see it. And that's what it needs. When rank comes out, that's when you can bring that ranked MMR out, and you can see what's going on.
100%.
I agree. That's the only time MMR should come out. I just want to say one thing. Let Appy teach people. He just wants to teach people how to play. He's a very
I saw that
player, and he loves to teach. And in his streams, he always educates players onto the finer points. And any new players in Fault, I highly encourage Appy Picker's stream. You will not be disappointed.
It is being mindful though, and this is going to be a dig at content creators. Everybody thinks just because they got a computer, I'm gonna create content, I'm gonna stream, I'm gonna do it. Content creators are not realizing how much of an impact they're having. Somebody tunes into that stream for the first time ever. They're trying to check the game out. I've seen content creators dog shitting, like straight talking dog shit about the game. I've seen content creators saying that the devs don't know what the fuck they're doing, like just straight bad mouthing, right? I've seen content creators talking trash about their teammates that are in the stream listening to them. I've seen players stop playing the game entirely because that asshole talks shit about me. Fuck him. Fuck that game. I'm not going to deal with this shit. I'm going to go back to Minecraft. And that's exactly what's going on. Like, you can't, we're not going to be able to control who's going to be able to stream, right? That's a given. But as a community, low key, guys, you guys got to step your shit up and start recommending the right content creators. There's content creators out there that I promise you, some assholes will be like, yeah, watch this guy. He's a good player. He's a fucking dickhead. Anybody that watches that guy, they're literally going to be like, nah, this ain't the game for me. We have to be more responsible as a community, guys. Quite frankly, we have to be more responsible as content creators to put our best foot forward. And that doesn't mean don't tell the truth. Because me and J-Pie have actually had this conversation. You can be truthful. You can be blunt. You can say what's wrong. You can give constructive criticism.
Yeah.
The line is drawn whenever you are negatively impacting an individual's experience by putting them down in some sort of way. You get me? It's okay to say, I don't like this about this game. Here's what I think they should do. If you just literally sit there and say, I don't like, fuck, it's trash. All you're doing is bitching and complaining, bro. You have to give constructive criticism. If not, it's just whining. That's the way it works. Go ahead.
There's a reason the word constructive is in front of constructive criticism. If it's just criticism, it does nothing. It's got to be constructive criticism.
I agree. And I just want to, Magnano calls me out. How does removing it help? What percentage even cares? More characters, please. Magnano, you're not wrong in wanting more characters. That's part of the most fundamental issues with any MOBA that's starting off. They have a small cast. It's one of the core problems of a new MOBA trying to break into the market. Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, Magnano, there's no every single game outside of the community hosted tournaments has been casual. But why removing the leaderboards and fault metrics would be beneficial is because it would help casual players, because like it contributes to the vitriol that people vomit towards each other. Windu touched upon it a little bit. And like I told you before, I watched a streamer last night just pulling up a new player's fault metrics and the whole stream laughing at it. That's not an environment. Like, think about it. All you have to do is weigh the positives against the negatives. What is this leaderboard giving you? What is fault metrics giving you versus what it's costing you? And I firmly believe if you objectively break down the positives and negatives, you will see that, you know what? Maybe we could have it at a later time. It would be good if this game went competitive. If the community took the game to a competitive state, it would be good to have. But at this current point in time, it serves no benefits whatsoever. It's only, in those cartoons where they have like this ball and chain on their ankle. That's what fault metrics and the leaderboard is to SMS. That's what it is at this point in time.
And they don't just do that on stream, J-Pie. They do it in the game too. Even
they do it worse in the game.
Yeah.
Even worse in the game.
They'll get into the chat before anything even starts. And they'll go, oh, this guy is a new jungler. He sucks ass. His elo is this. completely screwing up the game before it even starts, not even giving the guy a chance.
I unfortunately know too many people that talk
100%.
shit because they're on an alt account. Go ahead, Lucy. My bad.
I 100% agree with that. It is ridiculous. I actually just talked, and it took me a while to talk my friend into going on Fault and trying it out. And like, I gave warnings in the beginning because I know how toxic people can be on Fault. Like, hey, this is literally his first game ever with the MOBA. This is literally his fourth game with the MOBA ever. Just think of that when going in. If you don't want to deal with it or you don't think you can do it, just dodge or whatever. Otherwise, don't be a giant dick. Like, he's brand new. He's not going to know everything. Like, I'm trying to teach him and I'm trying to tell him, but there is a steep learning curve. And even with that heads up, like, hey, this is his fourth game. This is his second game. I still get people, why are you so dog shit? 0-7 Gideon, what is wrong with you? 0-4 Greystone, what's the matter with you? What are you doing with your life? Just get off the game and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, stop. Like,
Yeah.
Or you know how hard it is to reply, like to not reply to those people? Like how many, like, yo, I kid you not. I was like 12-3 one time, right? And then somebody on my team had the audacity to be like, our ADC is dog shit. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like.
And I bet you, I think that one had 0-8 deaths.
No, most definitely. But it's their fault that they were dying. It's my fault that they were dying, right? But here's the thing. Toxicity will never be 100% rid of, right? I actually had a comment in one of my YouTube comments, and this, like, I'm going to read this to you guys real quick. This is one of those things that you read it and you just think to yourself, like, did this man actually just say this shit out loud? And I quote, Strange Matter Studios likes to shut their own game down. I get banned for talking shit? Is this not part of the player experience? I talk a little shit and I'm banned for 2 weeks? Nice, Strange Matter Studios. End quote. I swear to God.
The little bit of shit was probably him telling some 15-year-old kid to go kill themselves, and they were gonna like bend their mom over or some shit.
Bro,
If it is the person that it is, if it is the person that I think it is, the reason that person got banned was because when in chat he was told, what are you doing? He was in the wrong lane or whatever the case was. And this guy responded, your mom. I swear to God.
That's not it. I don't know.
Well, no, hold on. Let's throw out the fact that if you're banned for 2 weeks, like what I think Beard is going to say, if you're banned for 2 weeks, you did more than a one-time occurrence. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And he's
you
done
said
more.
something
But in
bad.
that chat, he said he personally started talking about the person's mom and straight up just went right into it. Like all the guy asked was, "What are you doing in right lane when you could be helping us in left?" And he probably did that to other people. And he's worried about. He calls that shit talking. That's not shit talking. You want to shit talk? Tell me I'm a bad player. And let's go at it. It doesn't offend me, but. You don't go straight to a person's.
Apparently, you don't
life.
watch me and Mangoose play then, because that's
Yeah, I know, right?
that's definitely shit talking.
I've played with you guys,
That's definitely
but
shit
it's
talking.
different. Oh, yeah, but it's different.
I don't know. I don't think you would get banned for that because that's just fucking funny.
Not a 2 week ban for sure.
Well,
Hilarious.
No,
there's a big distinction between just messing around with friends and this goes with anything, whether it be a joke or whatever, right? Like there's a big distinction between messing around with friends and just going up to a random stranger and saying you're dog shit, uninstall the game, because that shit gets said way too fucking often, right?
Yeah.
You're never gonna be able to avoid it. You're gonna have to, they got their report system in place. They're still trying to refine that. They're still trying to find the best way to not only get those reports but also analyze them as well. So we all know that's a work in progress, and that's not something that Strange Matters is going to be able to just fix just like that. Hell, we might get to free release and they still might be struggling with those issues. That's more of a community thing, right? But I'll be real.
It's just because the support staff, I mean, nothing against them. I'm not bashing them, but it's a small team on the support staff. And all of the reports they're getting, they have to go through all of them. And they have to literally go through every single report and see if it's a legit report Or if it was, I said something about Mangoose's mom and he just jokingly reported me. So now they got to go through like, okay, that's just Goose and fucking Wolverine having a hard time, giving each other a hard time. No, that's not an actual report. Now they spent time on that and they have to go through and find the actual ones. So the support staff being as small as it is, it's going to take time. And, the bigger the team grows, the better things are going to, it's going to be a more smoother process.
So I was going to say, I want to hear from you guys. Somebody just said in the chat, why do they even have text chat? Why not just stick to commands?
No.
Don't get rid of that. Don't get rid of that. It's so useful. It's so useful because
tell them, Lucy.
Well, because I had some people who were very toxic to my new friend, but I also had some people who knew things because I normally don't go tanks off lane, who knew how to play tanks off lane and what to build first and things so forth. So them knowing that he's a brand new player gave him those tips and advice of like, hey, you should go with this card instead of this card.
Yeah. How do you ping Bale Armor? How do you ping Bale Armor? Go Bale Armor.
Exactly. There's no
in the ping system. Huh?
So there is that toxicity in the group, but there's also those people that are understanding and just want to genuinely help. And I feel like if you get rid of the chat altogether, it's going to be even a harder learning curve for the new people coming in because they can't get tips and advice.
Text chat's really important. I agree. You can't get rid of it.
To answer Bearded's question, to ping Bale Armor, it's up, down, left, right, BA, select, start.
I thought that was the extra life.
I do say that I do not want to have voice chat.
Good job.
I do not want to have voice chat though in the game. I have thought long and hard about this, and I do not want voice chat in the game just because I know there's going to be those squeakers that are just screaming into the mic before you even start.
I want voice chat. Hold on.
Windu, what do you do when you go into a game of League of Legends?
But when I go into any public game that has public voice chat, team chat, or whatever the hell,
voice chat, no, the text chat.
No. I always have everybody muted, just 100%. Exactly. That's just me.
Why can't? So if I want voice chat, Lucy, you don't want it. Why can't you just mute everybody and let me talk to my solo laner?
Yeah, mute button exists for a reason.
Exactly.
Or honestly, it's as simple as having an on and off toggle in the settings. So when you enter the game. Yep. Voice chat doesn't even show up for you. You don't even have to go through the process of muting.
Overwatch. You can have it off automatically. You don't have
and
to.
And that also eliminates the fact that, hey, get onto my Discord, get onto this, get onto that. Here's the link.
Yeah.
I'm worried because the level of toxicity.
We're not talking about it, Mangoose. We're moving on. Anyway,
I do agree with you. I'm just I don't know. I guess there's still that side of me that's worried about all the toxicity and everything.
It's going to be there. You're not going to get rid of it.
It's always going to be toxic.
You're going to mute the text,
but it's going to be hard to monitor if that's the case.
Can I say something?
No, you're done.
Please.
You've already. This is Twitter. You're 200.
I'm getting started.
I'm credit or whatever. Like you can't.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah, let me tell you, because Bearded, I gotta ask everybody out there on stream, right? All the people who love to type, right? You can criticize others when they're doing poorly, right? They're having a bad game, they're struggling, they're trying their best, and you're just typing your dog shit, your dog water, you can't do anything. Where is that same energy when you are doing poorly? Because I never see it. I never see it.
Oh, that's when they're quiet.
Oh my god!
No,
like, hey man, it's a rough game.
For real, where is it?
You guys.
I got my binoculars. I'm looking out.
All right.
I do have to shout out.
We got to get a little bit more organized.
I have to shout out Street and KX though. They're a major help when they come to my stream, man. They help out a lot with their advice and stuff. So.
You know what I think would be cool?
My answer, J-Pie, is I don't play poorly, so that's fine.
What I think would be cool? What if there was? Maybe Fault already has this, and I'm just not paying attention. What if they
go away for a year?
What if? Yeah, that didn't happen. What if Fault blacklisted some words in chat? So, like the second you said them, like that was it. Your chat restricted for the game. Like that's it.
Oh, that ability? So they were blacklisted to the point you'd get stars, but some of those blacklisted words came.
I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there is a profanity filter on there. Because I've seen people try to talk shit and just see asterisks. Right.
When they first had it, it was very strict. And I think after 13, it's now less strict. I think you're now getting other words in that you weren't getting in before.
Yeah, but even the stars, like you see the stars, you know they're talking shit, right? So like I feel like one way to just reduce it would just if you just made it so it didn't show up. Like, nope, can't do that. I don't know.
I'm a believer in personal liberties and responsibility. And if somebody's bothering you so much, just hit that mute button. And I'll tell you from personal experience, I've had games where it's been on a steep decline into oblivion, and I just mute the biggest offenders, and it just takes 180.
You know what I think would be better? What if you mute somebody? Like, what if you mute somebody and they stay muted until you unmute them? Like, actually account mute, not just per game basis. So if I've muted, let's say for example, I muted Stranger in the past. Next match with Stranger, I'm just not going to hear his shit. My next match is fine. You feel me? As far as I'm concerned, he didn't type anything.
And then you won't see it in the draft lobby and everything. Yeah.
In Discord, if you did it like how you do, you mute them in Discord. If you mute somebody in Discord, you come back a day later, they're still muted.
Yeah, true. Yeah. The only problem I have with
that's why Windu doesn't hear me when we play.
No, with that. The only problem I have with the mute button is obviously it's very successful. But when you have someone that's brand new at the game, I guarantee you they are not finding that mute button game one.
So, and that's also why new person in the game, that's also why I want voice chat, right?
Yeah.
Because if I text you something, Stranger, right now, you don't know what tone I'm using.
Yeah.
You don't know if I'm just telling you, hey, dude, go to, if I tell you go to solo lane, you can, hey, go to solo lane. Or go to solo lane. You don't know you don't know how it is. But if I had voice chat and like, hey, was it your name's in-game Stranger? Hey, bud, you pick this character. You're supposed to go to that lane over there. This is duo lane. Whatever. You tell the new people what and you hear the sincerity in their voice. You're not going to think, oh man, this guy's just being an ass to me.
Yeah, of course. I think it would be a lot better.
Voice chat would be a lot better in that situation too.
It would be, because I'm telling you, there's new players out there. Like if you said go to solo lane, they would ask you what solo lane is. Yep. Then you'd have to say it's right lane. You know what I mean?
The one lower than it's the solo lane.
Yeah,
next to the purple dot.
Green
That's
buff.
how I describe it.
Yeah, look at the green buff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just usually say, you know where I'm standing now? The other side.
Purple dot, green buff. Is that the Hulk lane?
Well,
Where you are now, go to the other side.
You know where I'm at now? Go to the other side.
Like when I first started playing Fault, I remember like I was brand new to PC, and I remember asking, how do you text chat? Well, you actually have to hit enter first. And like, I feel like so dumb now, but back in the day, I literally didn't know how. So people were typing me like, do this.
That's a real struggle.
Talking back to me.
A lot of people came from console.
Get mad at you. And then
I didn't. I didn't know how to back. I didn't know how to bring up the store. I'm like, what am I like? I don't know what I'm doing. There was no, because I played in that beginning alpha, whatever. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know what this is. Like, okay, I move forward. I got this, but I'm like, I was like, and once I like figured out, pull up the stream, I'm like, okay, here's these buttons. But I'm like, it was a painful, because again, I'm from PC as well, I'm from PlayStation as well.
The funniest experience I had was Gideon was in carry lane, just taking their minion kills, the last hits, and all of that. The entire game, we were typing to this guy to go to the middle lane. At the end of the game, when we lost, he goes, "GG guys, it was a good game."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to throw this in real quick. I want to move on to a little bit of a happier talk, but I want to talk about what Lucy's here for, because we were talking earlier.
Let's go. Thank you.
And she has a great idea, and it's something that I know personally that my community has been asking for a while. So Lucy,
all chat?
Tell people what. No. Lucy, tell people what you're doing.
Man.
So I want to start making the WTF videos for Fault. I want to take that feeling that we had with A-Lit and bring it to Fault. And I actually got some extremely exciting news because it was up in the air for like quite a while I've been working on this. But Saxophone Moment song is licensed, but I am able to use it as long as I credit their link to their page. So that meaning Saxophone Moments are coming back. Saxophone Moments are going to be a part of the WTF Fault Moments.
Wow.
And I am super, super excited for that because that was one of my favorite parts about the A-Lit videos. I don't know about you guys. I know a lot of people loved it. And it's going to be really excited. And I just want to make a very specific point because I don't know how many of you guys watched the first 3 episodes of the one Strange Matter did. But they did 3 episodes of the WTF Moments a year ago.
Yeah, I don't think that was actually made by Strange Matters. I think that was just like an independent person.
It
Oh,
was
was
a
it?
community member, yeah.
Okay, my bad. I felt like they focused way too much on the memes. Like they were stacking like 4, 5, 6 memes on top of a single clip. When if we look back at A-Lit, they took clips that were actually like, good plays or just funny in general and just added a little bit of audio to it. And
You know what? I can't wait until videos like that are advertised in game. Like a community corner where it's like, hey man, this is a trending video. We support it. We think it's fine. Let's see if other people like it.
Yeah.
Help build the community that way instead of just a Discord. You feel me? Because the Discord can only do so much and not everybody uses the Discord.
Are you eating dino nuggets?
We've been talking about it in chat for a while.
We've been just mentioning it. Windu's like, why do you guys focus on my nuggets? Big
Yes, bro. Like everybody's straight focusing. First they're focusing on my eyes, then they're focusing on my nuggets. Like, yo, let me fucking eat.
Let him eat his nuggets, bro.
A Capri Sun and a fucking orange slice here in a second.
All right. I really want to get down to the meat and bones. And I had like a few stuff I thought about in my head. We already kind of covered it.
Sorry.
Bring it out, stranger. Bring it out.
Before we leave Lucy, I want to make sure, Lucy, did you want to, I know you've been asking for clips and stuff. Did you want to put that out now or you want to continue that later and on your own pace?
oh no, I desperately need clips. I'm getting to that point where
right.
things are coming together and it's just the lack of clips that is the problem.
So where can people, if they want to partake in this, where can they get you clips and stuff like that?
I could actually type my email. It's not an official email. It's going to change a little bit later on because I haven't made an official email for it. But
just the current email.
To my yeah, we're just gonna do my one of my many.
Send it to me in DMs and I will because it's not, it's gonna be a link probably and it won't go across. I have the link.
I'll make sure that it's listed on the screen just in case too. Now, what the hell is Stranger gonna say?
Yeah, sorry, Stranger. I just want to make sure she got that.
Stranger came out. Yeah, Stranger came out like he had a public announcement real quick, and then he got cut off. I'm like, what the fuck is he gonna say?
I just wanted to really get down to like the meat and bones. So in 14, this is what we know so far. We got mastery skins. We got a draft screen. We got a new draft system. We got a new onboarding system. We have supposedly new heroes, which we can kind of say is confirmed, but it's not officially confirmed. Coming in 14.
Well, we don't know if it's coming in 14, but we know that they're.
We know what's coming.
Planning on stuff. Yeah,
we know what's coming. Is that it? And we got a skin or something.
What about the bug fixes?
The AI.
Yeah, bug fixes will come, and the AI. Yeah. So
yeah, I want to see that huge list of bug fixes.
What I wanted to discuss is, do you think that 14 is going to make the average game better? Because I think that's really what needs to be focused on. And don't get me wrong, new heroes makes it more fun to a certain extent. But I just find for someone like me, I'm finding that the game's starting to get a bit stale and unbalancing is it breaks my mental on like a daily basis. And yeah, I just want to hear everyone's thoughts because the big thing with me is I just want to see more players. And more players is going to bring better balancing, don't get me wrong. So the player onboarding is kind of my favorite part coming, but I don't really know if that's enough. And that's really what I'm worried about. And what I'm really most worried about is I can't wait another 6 months for 15 if 14 ain't it, and because you're just going to go down more because Halo Infinite's right around the corner. Overprime's right around the corner. Predecessor's right around the corner. You got all these competitors that are about to be hitting really strong and your game's going to definitely fall down, at least for the hype train of those games. But how are you going to come back from that hype train and keep going? And I'm just so worried about it. And when you just hear people like talking, listen to the community and listen to people with lots of knowledge, like you hear people every day say, why don't you play dual lane, even though that's what you main? Well, dual lane sucks in full. Well, why does it suck? Well, because the ward system sucks. The laning sucks. You get ganked and it just feels sad. And then you got your CS isn't worth enough, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of that has to do with the map, to be honest, which is new map is should be the biggest push in my opinion. But yeah, I just don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that or anything. Oh, and free to play should happen.
I think
Map is the
14
biggest
gonna do
push.
great. 14's biggest power play, I think, is going to be the mastery skins and the AI. That's their biggest power play.
Really?
So
I think map is coming after 14. I think this is to be the big push. Get AI, get onboarding, and then that's going to be the next big push. So we'll probably see. Now here's the issue. Let me ask you guys this, right? So if map comes in 15, right, and we're thinking free to play is going to be coming around 15 as well. Would you want them to push a new map that's going to be introducing a lot of? I know JPie's answer because he wanted fucking free to play before the game even existed. So don't answer JPie. We know your answer. But would you guys want free to play with a brand new map, like at the same time, to where like now all of a sudden these people are coming in, they're like, and there's be all seeing all these map bugs?
No.
well, okay, hold on.
I'd rather have.
Wait. There's a very big distinction there as to the fact that just because they implement a new map does not mean it's going to be covered in bugs. If the new map is well made and well tested, they should be able to iron out the most of those kinks. Bugs are going to happen regardless, but if they can minimize those to an extent, you have to be mindful. It's weird, but I had a conversation with a Fault dev in the voice chat and my buddy that hadn't played Fault in 9 months. So right after Morgish.
That's me.
And I literally asked him, I was like, hey, by the way, since you got to play Fault with me, what did you think? And his exact words verbatim were, and I quote, "It doesn't look like a lot has changed in the game since December. Maybe they added an item or two, but I'll be honest, somebody that hasn't played in 9 months, it felt like the same game almost." End quote. There's a lot of caveats in there, but you got to be mindful. The bigger a change is, even though it might not necessarily have taken the most work, the more it gets noticed. You change the draft screen, you change the menu screen, people notice that shit, and you know that those are coming. You change the map, people notice that shit. You feel me? People are like, wow, this game is actually making big leaps and strides. You could do all the coding behind the scenes that you want. You could literally make all the changes to make this game as smooth as possible. And when people play it, unless you're a caliber player that you can tell the difference, 9 times out of 10, you're literally going to be like, I'm playing on the same map as a year ago, bro. Literally, Twin Blast has the same abilities as a year ago, bro.
But that's why the season stuff's really good. But we haven't had a season in forever, right? Like we're technically still in season 0, I guess. But it kind of feels like we're not at a season at all. Like that idea was scrapped. You know what I mean? And yeah, it kind of sucks. Like, I see what you're saying. You need stuff to keep fresh.
So I agree and disagree with Windu in the matter of, yes, I do believe that you got to add pretty stuff in there. And I do believe that you got to keep people interested and keep upgrading and stuff. But when to do it is a huge part. And I know that, and I also disagree with you saying if they just minimize the bugs, it won't be that bad. Legacy spent 4 years on their map. And that's like a big company. They took a lot of time and a lot of dedication to try to make sure. And they still had a bunch of bugs when it first came out. So if this,
that's what I'm saying. It's inevitable.
Yeah, but if patch 14 is going to be a big thing about fixing bugs, what's the point in fixing them if you're just going to add new ones in?
I don't think.
I wanna answer Bearded's question first. Bearded, you specifically asked if patch 14 or we should wait till patch 15 if we get a new map to make the game free to play.
No, we're under the assumption, or we're thinking maybe patch 15 would be free to play.
Okay.
Right? Oh no, sorry. We think that patch 15 would probably be the new map, right? This is what we're kind of thinking. Like, we got AI mode, we got mastery system. The next big thing that's coming would be map, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if 15's map, would you want them to put free to play at the same time?
If we're that close, I'd rather have them play free to play the patch 14. If they're gonna start advertising and opening the doors.
Free to play before a new map.
Get out right now. Just before the new map, swing it out, get these players to come in. So when your map has issues, you're already ready. Whereas patch 14, I just paid $50 for the game. 9 months later, patch 15 comes out. They not only do they get to pay free, but now I have bugs with the purchase. You know what I mean? If you're gonna open the gates, put it out free, get it out there right now. This is your time. Especially like JPie said, when you don't have a competition yet.
Also,
Wait. Before you interject, Stranger, I just want to say this. The reason why that I want them to go free to play is because I want people to have the feeling of playing Vault before they play Overprime and Predecessor. Because if they play Fault, they're going to see where it's at right now. They're going to see how it feels, which is going to have a distinctly different feel than Overprime and Predecessor.
It's going to affect opinion a lot more than a new map for sure.
Exactly, and then when they see the flow of Fault, and then you're going to have players that are going to play Overprime and be like, "Whoa, Fault has such a much better pace." But if they don't go free to play, they're missing out on hundreds, if not thousands, of players that might have that point of reference.
Yeah. At least those players that will try.
So you're talking about. You talk like that player isn't gonna, like, once they play Overprime, they're never gonna touch Fault. You act like it's never gonna happen.
No.
Hold on. No, I'm talking about J-Pyre. You make that comment like it's not gonna happen.
I want to highlight on that later.
But when you play, if Fault goes free to play, then they're wait, I played Fault first, but now I'm gonna go play Overprime. Why can't it be vice versa? Why can't you play Overprime and then come back and play Fault and get that?
And I'll give you the answer.
Game out, because when you have a free game out, you're not going to want to pay to try a game. When you have
I'm not talking about paying.
No, hold on. Even free to play.
Free to play.
Yeah,
it's going free to play.
I'll shut down your argument right now, bro. Because humans are too fucking emotional. It's literally that simple. Because even if you get a brand new car today, it's still not the same as that shitty car that you had 10 years ago. Because even if you play Overprime first and then play Fault, it's like, yeah, you know what? I got used to Overprime. It's not what I'm used to. I'm going to go back to Overprime. And vice versa goes for any scenario. Humans are way too fucking emotional to be able to actually... Go ahead.
The Windu argument. What did you argue earlier? The first one's not always the best one?
Correct, but there's a way about it. It's not always the best one, but that doesn't mean you take your time, let everybody do their strides, and then be like, all right, now we're ready. Because again, it's important to be mindful that there's competition. It would be ignorant if they don't consider it, but they shouldn't necessarily make their choices only based off of that, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a weird balance somewhere in there. There are going to be individuals that try other games, like we said, and they don't like it, and they come back. That will happen, right? But first impressions matter. If you've never tried Paragon, your first impressions will matter. Right now, everybody's first impressions is, oh, wait a minute, this isn't like Paragon. I thought it was going to be Paragon 2.0. And that's why, because those guys, they're still stuck in that fucking 98 Civic that they used to drive. And they're like, this isn't my Paragon, bro. And then they leave a negative review. And the same exact thing goes. Your first impression matters when it's so relatable. That doesn't mean it'll be the final impression. It doesn't mean it's the final call. By all means, many things can go into it, but that first impression will be the bar. And you have to make sure that that bar is way the fuck up here when you do show that first impression. But if somebody's here, they came out first, your bar's a little bit higher, you came out a year later, yeah, I'll be real with you, bro. These motherfuckers have been playing for a year. They're going to be like, oh, look, they ripped this game off. They don't care that this one's been in development for, X amount of time or whatever. People don't care that, hey, this game's been in development for 3.5 years. This one's only been there for 1.5 years, 2 years, whatever. They don't give a fuck. What they see first is what's right to them. Too many people are too ignorant to think otherwise. People are too emotional to even consider a different option nowadays. We have to keep all that in mind, bro.
Yeah. I have a few things. Number one, I think the problem with Fault Map is not that it's been the same map too long. I just think the map needs a few points. I actually think having the same map for 5 years, if it's a great map, isn't a problem. My opinion.
It's too much Paragon. It needs to be their own.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. And I think that if you like a game, you're gonna play that game. Like you're not even like if you're playing Fault and you're enjoying it, why are you gonna go try Overprime and maybe not enjoy it? Like people are creatures of habit. They like to do what they know they're gonna enjoy. For the most part, like obviously you're gonna try it eventually, probably, but you're gonna spend majority of your time playing Fault. So Fault does have that advantage. And I had a third point, but I forgot.
I want to say real quick.
Let's go.
As far as this, the whole car thing, you're talking about the old car, new car. Why the fuck would you go to a dealership that charges you to test drive their car? They need to go free to play.
Bro, I fucking love that analogy. Holy shit.
Damn.
It's a good analogy, but you know, it's also to Stranger's point. It's just an issue of comfort, right? Like
I remember my third point.
Just one second. Many people tried Paragon at different points, right? Some people enjoy the legacy more. Some people enjoy version 42. Some enjoy the version before that. Like the moment that they were introduced to the game, everyone has different experiences. And my point to your question, Bearded, which you asked earlier, is just kind of like, I want to introduce as many people as possible to the current state of Fault so that they have that point of reference, because many of them will feel like, you know what? I played Fault, but over Prime, it's a little bit too fast. Or Predecessor, it's just not my taste. And they'll have that initial point of reference. But if they've never just had the opportunity to try, and let me tell you, when it's free, more people are willing to try. They will never know the differences between that. Because if they think that they have to pay $20 to just even try the game, they're not going to try it. You're denying so many players from that opportunity.
You are, yeah.
Isn't that the whole point of the play test? Go ahead, Stranger, before I go into it.
Okay, so this is kind of firing shots this point a little bit, but it has to do with the free to play. And I kind of want to listen, folks. I think the reason they haven't went free to play yet is not because they don't want to. It's because they're unconfident in their game and they want to have a job. And if they don't increase their player base of free to play and people don't buy skins, they won't have jobs. But if you make them pay a premium to play it, you have a more secure job.
I don't disagree with them
too. I think it's a confidence thing, and not just a confidence thing. Like, they also know if the game's shit or not shit. You know what I mean? So there is that as well.
I've always said recently
that's what it is. That's real talk, folks.
Yeah, they're not confident. I don't think they even give themselves enough credit for all they have accomplished on the other side of that same coin, because they've actually done quite a bit, and they might look at it and be like, damn, it's not good enough, bro. You get me? Like, there is no such thing as perfection. The Mona Lisa wasn't even ever fucking finished, bro. Like, you gotta literally sit there and think, like, hey,
look at that smile.
Jesus, don't even get me started, bro. Anyway, yeah, that's the thing. Like, and this is why, like, I would love some sort of, like, to know that there's some sort of, like, crazy business expert out there, right? Because like a salesman isn't gonna say, hey, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if we have 100% the right product yet. Maybe we should wait until we sell this. It's like, bro, we're going to sell version 1.0 as much as we can. We're going to give this to people, let them try it, get the information. Let's make it better. 2.0 will be better. 3.0 will go worldwide, etc. Like, I'm not 100% confident yet because we haven't seen much of this marketing so far. So maybe it'll change my mind. But I don't know that they have that sales mindset in there of, hey man, we're gonna take the steps necessary.
Stop. It looks like, oh no, we're live again. Sorry, it looks like we went offline for a minute.
It might have been OBS. I don't know.
To add to that, if version 1 of whatever product, you should be treating it as a salesman like it is version 15 too. Even though it's not internally, but like to the public, I think you should be trying to sell your game. You know, no one's going to buy something if you go, well, you know, it's all right. It'll get better in a year. You know?
And, I mean, just to also play devil's advocate to my own point, because when you go free to play, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like it's a risk. Yeah, if you go to, you know, your local store and you see things on the clearance aisle, you're not exactly thrilled about buying it. Sometimes free to play has the kind of impression that they're just trying to give it away. And it's, I mean, there's no easy choice which way or the other. I don't know how much money SMS is bringing in. I can only speak from what limited knowledge I have, but I mean, considered everything. And I would say you put in you put your eggs in the basket of free to play, but you know what? They're obviously of a different mindset. Maybe they have enough income and enough runway where they feel like they have a different pathway, and I respect that. It could go either way. It could go either way. I know. I readily recognize it's a double-edged sword. I'm just of the opinion free to play is going to give them the best chance. They feel differently, and I respect that.
So, all right. The what we were saying about the free to play, and I've always said that free to play, it not being free to play right now, and it's still having the $20 buy-in for it right now, it's a door, right? That door is not locked. You can easily open it with $20, right? But if that, so going back to the car situation, right? You can lock your car, but does that mean your car's safe? No, it's only going to keep the honest people out, right? So just because that door is shut, people are like, all right, they're not home, we're not going in, right? But if you open that door, everybody's coming in, right? And what Stranger was saying, they're not ready yet. Like they don't feel they're ready, and maybe they're not giving themselves enough credit, like Windu said, but they don't feel like they're ready yet. And I honestly feel like the game's just not there yet. Maybe after 14 and we see what AI mode looks like and how it feels and how it's better for onboarding, maybe like 0.14.5, we can drop free to play because you know what? We got some of the bugs worked out and we're good to go. Let's drop it because now we feel more confident what we got.
I have to say something. Where was this energy before early access? It was 100% needed then because it certainly wasn't ready for early access. And the fact that it wasn't ready for early access, I don't think that it's fair to just say it's not ready now. When I played in closed beta, I loved it, to be honest, because I knew it was a closed beta. Early access for me was a step backwards, and it is what it is. That's the past. But I just think that the game's never going to be in an ideal state. It could still be free to play in early access. Many games have done that. They're not mutually exclusive.
You know what I think?
Here's another thing that's a little contradicting. You and Stranger were saying maybe they're not putting it free to play because the game's not ready, right? But yet
they feel it's not ready.
Yeah, but on the other end, SMS is claiming that patch 14 is the patch for them to go out and advertise and bring players in. That's kind of a contradicting statement.
No, it's not.
On one end, you're telling people that I'm going to bring new players in. Yeah, but one end you're telling people that this is the patch that's going to make us go advertise and bring players in. And here now you're saying we're not making it free because we're not ready?
I mean, hold on.
There's a lot more.
I was about to say, hold on. Side note, you can easily also advertise in a paid to play model. That doesn't mean they have to advertise a free to play model. You get me? It just means advertising is going to go into play. But what I was going to say as for everything, and this is more as to just talking to Strange Matter Studios. If you want to be a community-based company, you're working on retaining community, right? But I need you to I want Strange Matters to realize that a lot of the changes that they're making now, and they're putting so much work as to making it perfect and making it, as good as possible. What if they get an influx of players? Let's say 100,000 players start playing next week, and 90% of those players think it should be different. If they're going to be a community-driven game, wouldn't it make more sense to get more community players in here and then get their feedback? You feel me? If you're grabbing polls like that, a poll out of 10,000 players does not hold the same weight as a poll out of 300 players.
You know what I think they should have? And a shout out to Saber's Fortune for this point in the chat. Free to play weekend, baby, and just put right at the end of a game, did you enjoy it or not enjoy it? Yes or no? That's it. That
would solve it right there without ruining their pay to play model.
It goes back to free. It goes back to what man Jay Pyre saying. Make it free so people try it, so people get a taste for it.
It doesn't mean it has to be permanently free.
Okay, hold on. No, all right. So what Sabers is saying and what Stranger said and what Windu just said is completely different than what Stunt and JPI have been saying. You guys want free to play, like you just want free to play. Like you're not asking for just a weekend, right?
But free to play weekend is the compromise.
Look, the free to play
Is the best of all worlds.
No. The free to play option is widespread. You want to make it a weekend. You want to make it a month. You want to make it a let's give partner panels codes to pass out to players. I don't care. The free to play option is to have people to try out what you have already, where no other company has a competition against you, just so you can get a taste for it. If you want to make it one weekend, if you want to make it 5 weekends, it's up to you. If you want to make it free indefinitely, that's fine. But this is the time for you to hit the gas, because you're in a good position to do so.
You know what? I free to play would be, but I don't like. If I was fresher than Fugazi, I wouldn't go free to play either. Number one, their income is definitely more now than it would be if it was free to play, in my opinion. Number two, they don't have enough characters in the game for people to buy, because you have to think about how you're going to make the money so that you can keep making the game. There's not enough heroes in the game for people to select and buy yet for them to go free to play. There's not enough unique skins in the game yet, in my opinion. And there's not enough little small stuff like wards or a map skin that might one day exist. Like that. I think they need a few more commodities that way before they actually go free to play.
So
on top of the game not being where they want it to be yet, because 14 looks fire, don't get me wrong, and I'm actually super excited, but it's the first time I've saw a patch and I was like, oh my gosh, this is looking amazing. 13. Yeah.
Can somebody give me an exact number of how many characters we have right now? If I'm not mistaken, it's 21, right?
Something, right?
21?
22.
Shit.
Officially more than every other successful MOBA ever when they went free to play.
False. I mean,
which one?
Overprime hasn't gone free to play. They stated.
Okay. Hold on. I understand, but my statement still stands. Officially, more characters than any other successful MOBA that has gone free to play.
You said free to play. I'm sorry.
I did, but they're not free to play right now. When they go free to play, then they might be the standard.
Then they'll be qualified with other free to plays. But
that's what I'm saying. My statement still stands as to right now where we stand with your point of first has an advantage. They can have that title for however long it may be. If they add 2 more characters before Overprime even comes out, then they might even stay ahead. You feel me?
But you have to exclude that free to play portion of your.
Can I ask you a question? I honestly want your opinion based off of what you just said. Hypothetically speaking, let's go your route. Hypothetically speaking, right? You want to make this game purchasable so you can make money to be able to improve the game, right?
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, both Overprime and Predecessor come out and they knock it out of the park. Free to play, knock it out of the park. How many of those players are going to want to pay to try out Fault when they have a Paragon Predecessor or Paragon remake or whatever you want to call it, whoever wants to put it in the way? If you don't have people coming in buying the game to try it out and playing, what's the purpose? Are we gonna, the 300 of us or 100 of us or 150 of us that paid, gonna carry this game for the rest of our life?
Well, I think it's also important to mention development cycles, because as far as indie development, and we mentioned Overprime, now that they're backed by a media giant, right? They're no longer an indie development standard. No, but I go there because at the end of the day, development cycles matter, right? And if we're considering races to console, if we're considering races, yes, to free to play, whatever it may be, it's very important to be mindful of development time. Not that many people realize that there were projects before Fault. Not that many people realize how much power a AAA company backing up can actually have as far as development progress. So it's really one of those things that if I sit here and talk to you guys, be like, did Fault have an alpha? That's a yes. Yeah, but it had an alpha, right? Did they have a closed early access where people could pay for access and they can test?
Yeah.
Has that lasted for more than a year?
Yeah.
Okay, so they've had data for quite a bit.
That's relevant.
I mean, well, it's just icing on the cake, quite frankly. And then from there, at the end of the day, are they going to be able to go free to play? What is the next step? They've already been talking about free to play so much, talking about 14, etc. We know it's coming. I want to make it very clear. It's not like we're under the assumption that every game ever is going to come out free to play and Fault is still going to be perfecting, right? My thing is, as to the perfectionist side, them maybe holding back because they might be unconfident, like Stranger was saying, which I don't think would be the move. I think having a little bit of maybe even a little bit too much confidence might be the better solution, in my opinion, as opposed to not enough confidence. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry to have to do this, but I gotta kind of dip.
No, you're good, homie. We appreciate you joining. And honestly, let's do this because we've been here for a while. We could honestly sit here and chat all night. So
no, we can't end here, man.
I know.
Magus wants to talk.
Magus wants to talk.
He's been talking all night. Let's see what he has to say.
Monetization. He wants to talk monetization. Lucy can bounce. We'll do monetization for a little bit, and then we can go.
If they're not confident
Lucy,
about the game, then why did
thanks
they
for
do a
hanging
fucking
out.
battle pass?
All right, you guys have a great night, and thanks for having me. I definitely would
nice to
like
meet you,
again.
Lucy.
Much love, Lucy. Pleasure.
Great night.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
And then Mangu said, if they weren't confident about their game, why did they do a battle pass? I'll be real with you.
Never should have happened. Huge misstep.
So here's the thing. I imagine, and again, this is just my sales mind point. Let's say I'm trying to build a lemonade stand. I think my lemonade stand is a pretty damn good idea. I think it's pretty damn good. But I don't know if it's as good as other people might think until I actually sell it to them, give it to them, and be like, hey, what do you think about this lemonade stand? And they'll be like, nah, it's trash. And be like, oh, well, all right, well, back to the drawing board. Cool. Or if it's well received, then okay, you know what? Maybe we could do something about a lemonade stand. But my whole point of that example is there has to be a proof of concept before anything gets implemented. I as a company, they need to test that proof of concept before they start ramping up into any major scaling.
Yep.
Maybe it shouldn't have been on a major scale of 6 months battle pass or season pass or whatever the season pass, excuse me. But maybe they easily could have just taken a poll. You get me? Like, information was needed, not necessarily the implementation was needed. I think that's where the differentiation is and where we might be on different sides, because maybe they didn't need to implement a season pass, but they need to get that data. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they could have done a poll though, but like your lemonade stand, why try and sell upgraded fucking lemonade when you haven't even sold your lemonade yet? That battle pass was fucking stupid. That was the stupidest idea they've had yet.
Season pass, you mean?
Season pass, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Season pass.
Season zero.
J-Pie, we had this in the last partner panel when it came to monetization and all that other stuff. We were saying, what if it's possible, creating a way where players can customize their heroes, whether it's a paint, whether it's changing a color of an outfit, or whether it's
Someone like Chromos.
Twin Blast coming in with the guns, he comes in with squirt guns, or comes in with, I don't know.
It's a lot of work. So it's an immense amount of work. Skin recolors are a little bit easier. This is one of the points before I get to what I want to say about the lemonade stand analogy. To your point, Stunt. So I say my piece here. Recolors, I say go all out, but also to a point that we haven't touched upon, which is one of the points that I wanted to get across for SMS to refine, is their daily and weekly challenge systems. I'm almost 500 hours in, and I have 2 skin marks. How many skins can I get with that? 0. How many players are you hooking with these skin marks? They're obviously highly valuable. Why don't you actually reward players for playing your game? Why don't you, I don't know if you guys are privy to Legends of Runeterra. It's a trading card game. They have a phenomenal free-to-play system, and
you can grind for everything you want, for sure.
You can get anything, yeah. And I have almost 500 hours, and I have 2 skin marks. You guys have not looked at this system enough, because this is ridiculous.
I wouldn't be against a rework of that skin mark system, or reevaluation of it. Yeah,
you don't have to rework it, refine it. You want to reward people who invest time in your game. That's my point. Just reward them.
Yeah.
And to the lemonade stand, just to conclude my piece, I'm sorry, Bearded. I'm going to finish here.
You're good.
Are you running a lemonade stand that your 5-year-old niece, nephew, daughter, son? Is that the kind of business you're running? Just to have a lemonade stand on the corner and trying to get cars that are passing by? Or are you looking at the most successful lemonade distributors and replicating their successful practices? I would highly recommend.
Great question.
Look at the distributors of the most successful companies, businesses that are distributing lemonade, and replicate their successful practices, and then innovate on those. Because anybody can just have their local lemonade stand where they're just, holding up a sign to every car driving by. You could do that for sure. If that's your goal, by all means, go ahead. But if you're trying for something more, then you're going to have to do something different than that.
I'm going to address something in the chat I saw about the season pass, and my 2 cents. The reason why the season pass, in my opinion, wasn't exactly the most ideal, because you're already paying a premium to play the game, and then you're paying another premium to get a pass. That's number one. And number two is they could not meet their own deadlines that they created.
Expectations.
The season pass, because they didn't have the infrastructure at the time.
I have a
Which, granted, they are in a better spot now.
Yeah.
Continue.
Plus, it just turned a lot of people off. It looked like a very greedy move on their part, and a lot of people looked at the game, saw that they were already selling season passes as they were selling early access for the game. They were like, nope. They turned right the fuck around.
Yeah. What they included in the season pass was amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was awesome. I think it was worth the price. It's just the way it was executed was just poor. It was just a bit poor, yeah.
It just a very greedy move on their part.
And that's what I said in the chat. Like, even though I feel like the test was needed and helpful, that doesn't mean public perception takes it that way. And I will say, just personally, as a skin guy, as a guy that literally sees a skin, buys it, and I'm like, I'm going to win this next game because I got this new skin. That type of bullshit, right? I would have much rather preferred their first season pass to include this Gideon skin or something of that, or an entire roster of that caliber, right? Like a season pass that you look at and you're like, God damn, I can't wait to get my hand on those skins. You feel me?
Yeah.
Where I'm not, this might be my personal opinion, but original season pass 0, yes, you got exclusive stuff, but I look at all those skins. Besides Decker, you're not going to see me use any of those season 0 pass skins. I'll use one of the original epic skins beforehand, and that's just a preference, right? It's my preference. But now with this sort of caliber, if they were to do a season pass, I think it would be much better received. I don't disagree that perception earlier was shifted. I don't disagree that, like, there was a lot of people that were like, yeah, that's kind of greedy, bro. Like, you guys just released this game, we got to pay for it, and there's a season pass. Like, they got to make money in some way, and they got to justify it, test out different methods, etc. So like you saw that they tried out the different tiers, like buy the master pack or buy the second tier pack. They've tried a couple things, and I'm okay with them trying shit, right? It's important that when you make moves like that, that your actions are justified, not just business-wise, but that they're justified as far as what the people are getting, right? Like, if this skin was at the end of that season pass, and then the skins up to it were kind of leading up, they don't have to all be crazy, right? That shit would be dope. I can't wait till the end of the season pass so I can get this fucking skin. That shit is sick. You get me? But when you tell me that at the end of the season pass, I got a glowing neon Frozone Richter, it's just not my taste. That could just be me. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'd love to hear.
Frozone. I don't know. I when it comes to the season pass, I looked at everything that was in it and what it all accumulated to, and I was okay with it. I put money into it. And I agreed. I'm like, hey, I'm okay with getting everything that's going to happen with all of this. So I had no issues with it because I knew I was going to play the game. I knew I was going to grind it out, and I knew I wanted the heroes that were coming, whoever they may be.
I thought it was pretty good. I just think it was executed poorly. And it was weird for it to come out at the same time the game came out. It was kind of like it was like pay for the game, but also pay for the game again is what it kind of felt like. In my anyway.
That's like buying the car. Here's the car, but you also need insurance.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like you also need this, or you want to get this, you have to get this too.
Do you not have to get insurance when you buy a car? I'm just wondering.
But like the point is, if you want to play those characters,
Not always.
get those skins, you have to pay for it.
If you want to
it's
drive
not
that
like
car,
what
you
it
got to
is.
have insurance.
Not always. a lot of dealers. I'm sorry, bro, but as an insurance agent, a lot of dealerships will give you 48 hours to get that vehicle registered under insurance.
Off without insurance.
Sorry to be that guy, but guys, again, we're we could literally be here all night, right? And at the end of the day, no, I love it too. And thank you so much for everybody that has stopped by and has been here. Let's go ahead and start doing our outros here, because at the end of the day, like I said, we could literally argue all night. You can come back next week. We'll have new subjects and we can start debating again. We always open up the doors as far as people that want to be in the party.
I do
right?
want to say something real quick. Sorry.
What's up?
It's because I don't want it to be my outro. They announced this Gideon skin that we're showing, right? And it was for a giveaway for when 14 happens. And the giveaway ended today at 10 p.m.
It did,
Is that not a subtle hint that 14 is close?
I'm surprised that the giveaway had a deadline.
You know what, Bearded? That's the first time, now that you mention it, that sounds pretty accurate. Like,
What'd
I
you
didn't
say,
think of it
Windu?
back then.
I'm surprised the giveaway even had a deadline.
Right. But it did have a deadline. So that means, like, I would think they would have to get all the information. So they're going to go through all the clips that they got. And then so that they got to have that person pick. So that when 14 comes, that person has the skin.
Yeah, I didn't think of
So
it
that
way
would tell
until
me
you-
14's got to be close, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope, but we've also had that same mindset for the past month.
We have. But we also
I think
14. Like
But with the player base we have, how many videos can you possibly get? 50, 60? We're pretty close. I understand what Bearded is saying. Because they said clip a video, right? Clip something and send it to them.
Yeah, it had to be your best Gideon clip. Send us your best Gideon clips and hashtag Astro Gideon.
Yeah, it could be old clips too. It's just a video, a Gideon clip. And for those of you that don't know what they're referring to is, they had a contest on their Twitter saying, "Hey, submit your Gideon clips to Twitter. The best one under the socials, yep, and then the best one is going to get this Gideon skin for free. That player.
Wow.
You don't got to pay a single dollar. You don't got to grind anything. Have the best clip, we'll give it to you. So it's cool. Maybe there's an indicator there as far as, hey, timeline wise, like, bro, if they officially announce a winner, they got to be around the corner, and I sure hope so. My fingers are crossed. I'm hopeful.
14 is 30 days or less.
All right. So if this is going to be, I'm just because I'm seeing I'm nothing to get what you just said, stranger. Sorry, but I'm seeing in chat. Oh, I'm not on Twitter. Oh, I'm no longer Twitter anymore. It's socials. They posted this on Instagram. They posted this on Twitter. They posted this on Facebook. And Sabers, I know you're on Facebook. I've seen you there. You and me have had conversations. All right. So if they're going to continue doing contests like this, follow them on their socials. All right. And you don't have to have a Twitter feed. If you're a part of the Discord, you can there's a Twitter feed, or if you're part of Windows Discord, it goes right to his Discord, or I'm part of my Discord. Guess what? It goes right to my Discord. The Twitter feed announcements go there, and you can see them via internet. They get it goes right to like the website side of it. You don't have to have that, and you can still submit the clip. So it's there. Follow the socials, because you have a chance for exclusive content like this.
True. Now, yeah. What's up, stranger? Before we say our goodbyes,
I was going to say, I think there's one more hero to be announced for past 14, and I think it's going to be Crunch.
Well, again, we haven't confirmed that any heroes announced for 14. That is speculation. We've mentioned We've mentioned that they've working on heroes because they've showed teasers, but we don't know if that's 14, 15, new release, a year from now, 2 weeks from now. No date has been given, so very important to give the distinction there. But let's do our outros here. Let's do this order: Bearded, Mangoose, Stranger, J-Pie, Stunt. And basically, as always, if you guys had one thing that you can say to the community, what would it be?
All right. First of all, everybody here, and Lucy, I know you're not here right now. If you come back and watch this, Mangoose, J-Pie, Stunt, Stranger, Windu, Lucy, thank you all for coming. This was a blast. I love doing these partner panels. It's great. J-Pie, you and me, man, we get that little heated thing. I love it. It's like,
oh yeah,
perfect. And if everybody watches it, like literally, I can show you a clip of me and J-Pie's DMs. It's all good fun. We enjoy it. Great debates. But what to say to the community? It's been rough. I understand. I'm getting to the point where I'm like, this is getting really rough. So, but I still feel like there's a great thing around the corner. This game's they've done great improvements up to this point, and stick with us. We're gonna have a blast.
Oh, is it my turn now?
It is.
I think it's Stranger and then you, Mangoose.
Oh, we'll Stranger first. Whatever. I don't know what order he's got.
No, let Mangoose go. Mangoose, Stranger, J-Pie, Stunt.
Oh, I got nothing for the community, but Bearded, let your wife know that I'm out of blue pills.
Gotcha.
Jesus Christ. Get me out. I can't, bro. Stranger.
Hey, what a floaty flop, though. This is Stranger, a Big Moose. First time on the screen in over a year, folks. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. That's it.
Thank you for being here, bro. We appreciate you. J-Pie?
Okay, my outro is not fun. It's not. I did as much research as I can off stream. I gave you guys my highest level of criticism. Everything that I spoke from the heart, because I want you guys to be the biggest competitors to Overprime, to Predecessor. I want you guys to stand up tall with your eyes on the horizon and be able to face them, because they have a lot of money, Overprime especially. And what I want to just leave one last criticism with Strange Matter Studios, especially in regards to free to play, with your indie go-goers who are arguably your most adamant supporters. You accepted money with a free to play date, and you missed that date in January 2021, which is natural. I mean, it's software development is unpredictable. But you swept a new free-to-play date under the rug. Those were your most adamant supporters. They felt strongly enough about your project to give you money, and they deserve better. I undoubtedly they feel slighted as a result. And you have a phenomenal product now, and I really hope that with this next patch you announce at the very least a new free-to-play date, because they deserve it. And what better way to get them back into the game and get them to believe into your product again than to promise what you initially promised them when you took their money. So please, as just a kind of gesture that they deserve, please give them that. Thank you.
Well said. Can't say I disagree. Sometimes those dates are essential. We all know how I am about dates. And Stunt?
I also had something for SMS. I've shouted out to the community before and stuff. This is a time for you to set that bar high. This really is that time. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here if I wasn't supporting your game. I wouldn't be sitting here. Obviously, when I see a mistake or I make a certain comment, I do it out of the heart, just like J-Pie said, because we want this game to succeed. So if you are going to go out and fully advertise and bring in new players and open the gates, let's open it. Let's set the bar high and let's knock it out of the park. I believe in the game. I've been playing it since it came out, and I can't wait to see what you have in future for us.
True.
All right. And for Lucy's outro, don't forget she's making the WTF moments for Fault. I posted a link in chat for her Gmail. So go ahead and click grab that email, send her any clips that you think is worth it. She'll fumble through all of them and make us a great video. So don't forget about that.
True, and I'll make sure it's up on the screen at this point. But as far as my 2 cents, again, I'm just excited for this marketing. I'm watching very closely as far as Strange Matter goes, and as far as how the community is going to interact. I'm watching to see how they implement everything and what their next steps are moving forward, because I think I speak for everybody that people are looking at them now more than ever. And that's both good and dangerous things. Because like we mentioned today, if everything should be optimized to the point that every marketing move that you make should have been run by several people several times, and make sure that you maximize every opportunity, right? So I'll be real, I'm excited. Thank you everybody for being here. Every single one of my co-hosts here today. Thank you everybody in the live chat. You guys are awesome for being here the whole time. Everybody that's been watching on YouTube and has made it here this far, go ahead and drop a GG down below. And I'll be real, guys, that's pretty much it. Till the next time.
Peace.
See ya, folks.